Out, the atmosphere is crackling at Easter Road. Rangers through in the Champions League, United through in the Conference League. Can Hibernian go through into the third qualifying round in the Europa League? It's time to find out in the company of Alan Preston, Scott Allen and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks again, Thomas. Welcome to a jam-packed Easter Road for what does have the makings of a European night for the days, for the ages, if Hibernian can come out on top against Midtjylland and progress to the third round of Europa League qualifying. The Norwegians of Fredrikstad lie in wait for the victors here this evening, and David Gray's men have given themselves a real solid chance of making it into the next round, as Rangers and Dundee United have done in their respective competitions. Kick-off is just about upon us. It looks like it will be the Danes who will kick us off, going from right to left as we look at it from the very top and the back of the main stand here at Easter Road. The Danes in the red and black stripes, with the black shorts and black socks. Hibs in their traditional green and white top, white shorts, green socks, as the Portuguese referee awaits the signal from the officials down pitch side that the game can commence. But we'll get the thoughts early on of both the guys alongside me, Scott Allen and Alan Preston. And we are underway at Easter Road as Mads Beck, the Danish captain, fires it out in the direction of Kevin Mbabu. He leaps, doesn't get there. It's out for a throw-in over in the far side. Guys, we didn't get a chance to speak to you pre-match, but Scott Allen, having watched the first leg, how optimistic are you that Hibs can go and finish the job tonight?
Yeah, I think in terms of David Gray's team, there's no question that they took a lot of confidence from the game last week. I think the key part of that was how well Hibs started the game, the intensity they pressed at, they looked after the ball and had to, and obviously getting that bit of quality from McGrath from the free kick, which obviously gave them a foothold in the game. But listen, more of the same tonight. That intensity put them under pressure, and when you have the ball, you've got to look after it.
Hibs trying to come forward down that left channel. Bowie putting a bit of pressure on Lee. He goes back to the goalkeeper. It's cleared by Losel, who was probably, you'd have to say, at fault for that opening goal last week if you're looking to make amends. They have been conceding goals, albeit they scored 6 in a victory at the weekend in their second league match, as Martin Boyle races down the right hand side, possibly offside, but play continues, sends it into the back post, too much on it, flag stays down. Assistant referee was satisfied he was onside, but the ball's cleared up to the halfway line. But you can hear that Easter Road crowd getting right behind their side as Jordan Obita picks up once more on the left hand side. Low cross, not a great one, but it almost was effective. Paulinho can only clear as far as Mulligan, but he can't find a teammate, and forwards break Midtjylland, but back goes Mulligan to pinch it back, albeit he then gives it away once more. A little bit of carelessness there, Alan Preston. Hibs just have to stay composed, because they don't have to go and win this in the first 5 minutes.
No, they don't, but it's a similar start to last week. I thought Hibs were brilliant last week in that opening period. 1-0 up early on, could have been 2. Boyle was really unlucky, just called offside, and it's a similar start. Hibs have gone after them straight away. Crowd are magnificent, pitch is wonderful. It's all there for Hibs to go and win the match.
Midtjylland in possession in the middle of the park. It's Pedro Bravo, the Colombian, back to his captain Beck, who was on the score sheet in that 6-2 victory at the weekend. Out to say at the weekend, it was actually Monday, so they've not had a great amount of time to recover from that. As Beck picks up once more, pings a lovely looking left-footed diagonal out to Mbabu, who immediately gets into the box. O'Hara meets it with the head and clears it, gets good distance on that header. And McGrath goes and puts good pressure on his man, and he's dragged to the ground. It's really good play, really tenacious stuff from McGrath. He's claiming potentially there should have been a yellow card coming out there, but Hibs will settle for the free kick 10 yards inside their own half, as tempers already threaten to flare there as Jack Iredale gets involved and just gets a little bit of a talking to from the Portuguese referee. Early doors here, Hibernian 0, Midtjylland 0.
I think Chris Cadden's going to be vital. If he holds his width, which he will do, he could be the one that can win them this game tonight. Get the ball out to him, take his man on as much as he can, bylines and crosses.
Midtjylland obviously playing with that high defence. That ball down the side is on, especially if they turn over in the middle of the park when they're out of possession.
Here's Sorensen playing it forward. Jordan Smith comes to the edge of his box, clad all in pink, and he grabs that and then bowls it out to the left hand side to Iredale, who continued his form from last season in the first leg. Highly impressive. And Hibs were looking for more of the same from him and others tonight, as O'Hara just turns and plays it back to his goalkeeper. 3 minutes in at Easter Road, no goals as yet. 1-1 from the first leg. Dundee United taking care of business, winning 1-0 on the night, 2-0 in aggregate. And Hibernian, well, they would take a 1-0 victory. Absolutely. Midtjylland, a team with a good European pedigree in recent years. They've beaten Celtic not so long ago in Champions League qualifying, beaten by Rangers a couple of years before that, also in Europa League qualifying. Listen to that backing from the Easter Road crowd, and David Gray mentioned the feel-good factor, and much as you might be at pains to admit that, Alan, you can't deny that there is that feeling around the club at the moment.
That's a right good feeling, and David Gray's made that feeling, and I'm just sitting here looking at the Pat Stanton stand. That's a wonderful gesture for him.
And the ball's played forward to Bowie. Bowie nods it down. It's McGrath about 25 yards from goal, tries to bundle his way through. Cadden for Boyle. Oh, it's just deflected wide. That was almost the opening goal. A despairing lunge back there from Lee to take it wide of goal, as it looked like Boyle would notch his 100th goal for the club, just denied by the block. And it's a corner to him, still 0-0.
And it's down that right hand side again. Jamie McGrath couldn't get out his feet, but there was Cadden. A lovely ball across to Martin Boyle. He just couldn't quite get out his feet for his 100th goal. But listen, it's a real positive start for Hibs. Kieran Bowie again, really effective, looking to run in behind, holding the ball up as he done last week.
I think if you were Cadden, you'd have hit it.
I would have definitely have passed that.
No chance.
Corner kick right hand side. Obita with the left foot curls in. It's a good ball. Lee gets his head to it first though, knocks it clear. Levitt helps it back out to the right hand side, where Obita picks up once more. He lays it's a good ball into Mulligan. Mulligan just outside the box, right hand side. Back to Obita, who swings it in. It's a good delivery. It's attacked, but it's straight at the keeper. It was O'Hara, I think, who was up from the back, who met it about 12 yards out, but it was straight down the goalkeeper's throat. Either side of him, and that could have been a real test for Slossel.
It's a brilliant ball in from Obita, cutting in on his left foot, whipping it in. It's so difficult to defend. The pace is on the ball. Good header right down the keeper's throat. Great start from Hibs, it really is.
Yeah, getting the crowd even more behind them. And as Alan mentioned, the renaming of that stand opposite us, the Pat Stanton stand, a fitting legacy for the legendary former player and manager. Midtjylland pick up left hand side, and it's Shimshir, who was impressive, scored a cracking free kick, you have to say, to level things up in the tie. As Babu now goes back the way to Lee, just inside his own half. No pressure on him just at the moment. He plays it square to Beck. There is a sense though that this Midtjylland defence can be got at, maybe not exactly watertight. And Lee brings it forward out to the right hand side. It's Osorio cutting in. He's semi-stopped in his tracks, be allowed to continue in the end. The Chilean gets out to the left hand side to Shimshir, up against Cadden into the penalty area, just rolls it in. It's a decent opportunity here, but it's well blocked there by O'Hara, but it is at the expense of the corner. It was played into a dangerous area, and O'Hara had to be on his toes to divert that behind. There's a first real chance here for Midtjylland to put the pressure on at the back. It's 6 minutes in. It's Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0.
That's a good move down the left hand side. I thought he was going to hit it first time, I really did. I thought Beckett was a good ball into him. I thought he was going to strike it. It takes an extra touch, allowing the defender to come in and block it for a corner.
Corner kick from the right hand side. It's Bishkov floats it in. It's a good take from Jordan Smith. Saw it all the way, and under no significant pressure inside his 6-yard box, he's able to claim that. And Scott, just looking at the position of Bishkov, we did chat about that pre-match. Does look like he's maybe playing just very slightly off Francolino. As Hibs come forward, we'll pick that up again in a minute as McGrath feeds it just a little bit in front of Bowie. He just has to stretch for it on the byline, and then he miscontrols it and rolls it behind. Disappointing end to that promising looking move there for him, but does give us a chance to go back to the point I was making there, Scott. Bishkov just slightly off Francolino, would you say?
Yeah, I think he'll obviously look a wee bit more defensive role, getting around Levitt. Levitt had a lot of control in the game last week with Hibs. He was a standout for me. Just obviously back to that opportunity there for McGrath. He took the touch inside. I don't know why he went for the outside option, because the goal had opened up for him, and we know he's capable of that bit of magic round the edge of the box. It was a chance there to get a shot on target, and he chose against it. Hibs have the ball again.
Yeah, McGrath being dispossessed though in the middle of the park by Bravo, who plays it out to the right hand side to Mbabu. And then back in field, and it's going to open up for the shot there from distance. It's well held by Jordan Smith. He saw it all the way, to be fair. It was a very ambitious hit from Osorio. It must have been easily 30 yards out, left-footed, and Jordan Smith gets everything behind it, and it remains, after 8 minutes here at Easter Road, Hibernian 0, Midtjylland 0, 1-1 on aggregate.
That's a decent effort. I think it takes a slight deflection as well into the keeper's hand. Smith's seen it long way out, as you said, but a decent enough effort.
It's back in the possession of Smith. He's closed down by Bushkov, has to get rid of it quickly. Manages to do so. Up towards his striker Kieran Bowie, who's again preferred to new signing Thibaut Clige, who remains on the bench. He came on briefly in the first leg. I'm sure we'll see him again tonight at some stage. I guess that does depend how the game is going. Here's Sorensen clipping that forward in the left channel. Just a little bit too much on it there for the winger Osorio, who'd come all the way across to the left hand side to try and latch onto it, but out came Smith to grab it and plays it out to Iredale. And now Levitt just inside his own half. Good ball forward for McGrath. Trying to hold his line there was a Bita. He just hesitated and allowed Mbabu to nip him, but then Lee slips and he's played a poor clearance, and then Sorensen just has to hack it high in the air to atone for his defender's error, and Hibs pick up once more left hand side through Obita. Tries the back heel, straight out of play, thrown to Midtjylland over on the other side. Very open as it was in the first game. It could be goals at either end. You wouldn't be too surprised if that were to happen, but none so far in the opening 9 minutes or thereabouts, as Midtjylland come and play down the left hand side. It's Paulinho and Shimshir looking to link up. Shimshir on the halfway line, comes back inside, just rolls it into Lee at the edge of the centre circle. Lee fires the diagonal. It's a good ball out to Paulinho, who's well advanced, about 20 yards from the byline. Plays it infield to Shimshir once more, closely tracked there by O'Hara. Gets the pass off to Bravo. Bravo plays it out to Mbabu. Decent stuff this from Midtjylland. Into the area it comes. A good ball. Well, I say it's a good ball. It's actually taken very comfortably by Jordan Smith. There was a slip in the middle by Bravo, I think it was, and Smith claims it pretty comfortably again. It was a good move though from Midtjylland, and as David Gray acknowledged, and as we've seen over the recent times from Midtjylland, they are certainly a force to be reckoned with, and Hibs are not going to progress tonight without a real battle here. But still 0-0 in these early exchanges, as Bashiri brings it out from the back, plays it out to his left hand side to Iredale, tries to get the better there of Osorio. Osorio just knocks it out of play on the far side for a Hibs throw, about 10 yards inside their own half, to be taken by Iredale. Looking for options. One of them is Levitt. Gets it back to Iredale, rather just thumps it lazily high up in the air, rather aimlessly as well, but it's picked up by Midtjylland in the midfield. Again, that's a poor ball forward. Bashiri will just see that back to his goalkeeper, who comes slightly out of his area and then knocks it out to O'Hara at the edge of the box. I see Hibs being linked with Grant Hanley today, actually. It'll be an interesting one. I'll try to ask David Gray about that post-match, as Hibs come forward and it's knocked out of play there by Paulinho, thrown to Hibernian. Cadden quickly throws it into Bowie. He shows good strength, thought about the shot there and then holds it up instead. Now it's McGrath from the edge of the box, just wide of target. It was always curling away as he hit it off the outside of that left foot, but it was a half decent effort certainly as it opened up on the edge of the box. But it remains Hibernian 0 and Midtjylland 0.
It's a chance for Jamie McGrath, but I need to talk about that man Kieran Bowie again. Done it so well last week, taking the ball in and then being able to have that presence of mind to find the pass at the edge of the box. Fantastic, really positive from Hibs, a great start. Even looking at them out of possession, they look really disciplined, so protecting the heart of the midfield. It looks to me as if they're happy for the ball to go wide. And then obviously with the three big guys at the back, they're happy to go and attack the crosses that Midtjylland put in the box. The volume of crosses, if you look at how many they defended last week, they've done it really well for large spells in the game. So Hibs in out of possession again, looking very, very good at the moment.
Yeah, well organised, as they'll need to be tonight, as Francolino, dangerous striker. I didn't see too much of him in the first leg, but he's definitely capable. He got a hat-trick at the weekend in that 6-2 victory over Sonder Juske, and got a couple in the opening league game as well. So Hibs will need to be on their toes to keep him under wraps as Paulinho picks up and then gets it to Sorensen, out to the left hand side to Shimshir. The first goal in this game could be absolutely vital. It's so finely poised as Cadden backs off, then he tries to stick in a boot. Looked like he fouled Shimshir there. The referee allows play to continue. Sorensen picks up the loose ball on the left hand side, and now it's Shimshir again coming into the area. Dinks in, it's a good ball, the header comes in, but it's well wide from Francolino. It's a teasing ball in from the winger Shimshir, and Francolino will feel he probably should have done better. It ended up a good few yards wide, and it remains Hibernian 0, Midtjylland 0.
He looks a proper player, Shimshir, on that left hand side. Lovely ball into the box, header just wide of the target. I'm sure Midtjylland will want the ball out to him as much as they can. It's going to be interesting because I think he'll go lazy going back to the park with Cadden, so Cadden's going to have to be brave. There's a chance here, if say they go the opposite way, if they can open up and come out this way, Cadden's in acres of space.
Midtjylland pick up once more, but in slides O'Hara to knock it forwards. Paulinho gets his head to it, knocks it over the halfway line, picked up though the loose ball by Levitt, and now Mulligan back to O'Hara, and now it comes out to Cadden on the right hand side. Halfway line, not a great ball forward, but the loose ball's picked up by Levitt. He's got a couple of options, one of them's McGrath, helps it on to Obita. Obita on the angle of the box, left hand side, up against Mbabu. Can he flash it across goal? He carries in! Kieran Bowie! Hibernian in front! Brilliant ball from Obita. Oh, the flag's up! Oh, the flag's up! And Bowie from 5 yards is deemed to have been offside. This will be checked by VAR. What a ball though from Obita. And a deadly finish from close range from Kieran Bowie, who thought he'd opened his account for the season, but the assistance flag goes up, and we will have a check here to see whether Hibs have gone a goal to the good or otherwise.
What a move that was. Jamie McGrath open up the midfield, out to Obita, goes by Mbabu and flashes a fantastic ball across the face, and there's Kieran Bowie for the tap in. We'll have to wait and see what VAR says, but can't look at how good the quality was in that goal, Fabs. That'll be a real positive either way. It's the cross balls we spoke about last week, Al. They didn't look comfortable defending them.
It's a brilliant ball in from Obita.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I thought when I seen Nicky Cadden on the bench, I thought, oh, they're going to miss that delivery from that side, but Obita, brilliant ball.
Goal does not stand, unfortunately, because it was a goal of real quality, the whole move and the cross and the finish. But Bowie has strayed just offside as it came into him from Obita, and so it is still Hibernian 0, Midtjylland 0. Just when Hibs thought they had got the early breakthrough as they did out in Denmark last week. Bashiri's got a bit of defending to do here. The ball bounces in front of him, he heads it out of play very wisely, not taking any chances there, and it'll be a throw into Midtjylland on the left hand side. But certainly that will give Hibs, albeit it's a blow, the goal doesn't stand, but it will certainly give them further belief that they can break through this Midtjylland defence, as they have a throw in now on the left hand side to be taken by the captain, Mads Beck. And we saw in the first leg he's got a good long throw on him. Let's see what he can make of it here, into the edge of the 6 yard box. Well attacked though by Bowie, who had that goal chopped off just a moment ago. The ball's come back out to the left hand side to Beck, and now it's Paulinho. It comes off Cadden, it's behind for a corner, and Midtjylland looking to give as good as they get here at Easter Road. It's a finely balanced first leg, Hibs starting the better, Midtjylland coming into it, and probably you would have to argue deserving of the equaliser, which makes it so finely poised here this evening. We've played at 16 minutes at Easter Road, 0-0 on the night, 1 apiece on aggregate, as Bishkov lines up the corner kick from the left hand side. A very crowded 6 yard box. The corner comes in, but the referee has spotted something he's not happy with, so it'll have to be taken again. He's having a word with Obita certainly, and also I think Sorensen inside that 6 yard box. But I mean, there must be easily 15 players inside that area, as the corner kick will come in now. It's played short, in fact, to Shimshir, left hand side, up against Boyle, onto the angle of the box. It's a good delivery, and it's glanced behind by a Hibs head. I think it's Bowie again, who's already proved his worth defensively over the 2 legs, and gets back to defend set pieces, and he often gets his head to it. And it's going to be another corner, this time right hand side, for Hibs to defend.
We're just looking at possibly that goal. It might have been Boyle that might have been offside. in the eye line of the keeper at the front post. Possibly, we'd like to see it again.
Okay.
I don't know about the 2v1 here for the corner. We seem to with his ability.
And it comes from Shimshir, right hand side. Out comes Smith. It didn't to me a great deal of communication, but it's a poor effort from the edge of the box from Paulinho, who took it on his right foot. An actually left-footed Brazilian defender, and it was never troubling Jordan Smith well over the top of the crossbar. We've played 18 minutes at Easter Road. It has been open end to end, still goalless, but Hibs had a goal chopped off. Kieran Bowie thought he was on the score sheet, but it doesn't count, and so still goalless and still level in the tie as O'Hara plays it forward. It's not a good ball though. He has to get his head to the return ball, and Biskov though picks up in a decent area. Shimshir's outside of him, and well, you should have released it to him, but Shimshir I don't think is particularly happy. Just kind of hangs his head because Biskov held on to it for me far too long. We'll get the experts' view in a second, but he could have played him in the left hand side of the box. In the end it comes to nothing, and it's still Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0.
Yeah, he could have definitely slipped that ball down the side. Obviously chose to hold on to the ball, looking to get more central. Chris Cadden does a great job coming down the blind side, manages to nick the ball away from him. But just to that original bit of play there from, I think it's O'Hara, the ball's coming out to him, he's trying to get down the sides on one pass. It's not always as easy that. Sometimes you need to move them and then get it on the second action. As we've just seen again, he's just done it again, so they've not actually moved MD from the Midtjylland defence. When Hibs have actually done that well, they've had a spell of maybe 5 or 6 passes, it's worked its way back across and then got down the sides of them. So
Hibs have got a really good shape, Scott. See when they're out of possession,
5 at the back.
They all know what they're doing. The midfield's working tirelessly. Bowie's getting back into an area to cause a bit of concern for the centre halves. Boyle knows his job. Well drilled.
Here's Shimshir, left hand side. Boyle trying to get back at him. Good play from the Hibernian captain to dispossess him. Rather dubious ball into the middle of the park, but McGrath goes down under the challenge.
It's got to be a yellow, surely.
Let's see. Portuguese referee agrees. To be fair to Bravo, the ball was there to be won because of the extremely loose pass from Boyle. Unfortunately for him, McGrath just got his body in the way in time and was then felled by Bravo, and the yellow card is produced for the Colombian midfielder.
It definitely wasn't a reverse pass from Martin Boyle, that's for sure, but Jamie McGrath made it look a better one than it was.
O'Hara taking a chance here on the right hand side, and then not a great ball back to his goalkeeper with Francolino putting the pressure on, but out comes Smith, and then it's picked up by Cadden. Cadden feeds it forward down the right for Boyle. Not sure he'll catch that, he won't, unfortunately. Boyle, as quick as he is, just unable to latch on to that, but certainly plenty of optimism and plenty of cause for that optimism in the opening 20 minutes for Hibs. But you would have to say Midtjylland offering a threat of their own. Shimshir in particular looks lively down the left hand side as the goal kick is taken by Midtjylland. Their goalkeeper Jonas Lossel, 36-year-old. Here's Mbabu. He's had a good career himself, having as I mentioned last week, spent a bit of time at Rangers without actually playing, on loan from Newcastle. If you remember, there were 5 of them came up at once. Only 1 or 2 managed any game time. Part of a very strange time in Rangers history, you'd have to say, as Obita wins the ball back in the far side from Osorio. Then he goes down, just nudged in the back by the Chilean winger, and the assistant was on hand to award the flag for the free kick at least, and Hibs get the decision almost at the midway point in the first half, and it's as finely balanced as I guess most of us would have expected. Midtjylland have come here knowing that they too have a really good opportunity to progress despite not being able to win the home leg. As Bowie does battle there with Lee. Lee hits the deck, nothing given, and it comes out to the right hand side here with Cadden just inside the Midtjylland half. Good drop with his shoulder there from Mulligan to leave Sorensen in his wake. Digs it into the middle of the 6-yard box, but Loso extends his arms and grabs that at its highest point before either Boyle or Bowie could make anything of it. Poor touch there at the back from Iredale. It might open up here for Midtjylland at the edge of the box. It's Francolino inside the box. Chance, but it's over the top from Osorio. Played the 1-2 there with Francolino inside the box, and from about 8 yards lifts it over the crossbar. Chances at either end here, but still no goals. Somehow 0-0.
That's an indecision there from Iredale. Obviously the ball coming out the sky. I think he should just look to clear it back up the pitch. Midtjylland obviously wanted a loose ball, and I actually think Rocky Bashiri does really well not to gamble. He tries to usher the ball wide to obviously close the angle off for Francolino. He chooses to obviously cut the ball back into the box, and again it's over the bar from Midtjylland.
2v2, risky. Iredale makes the wrong choice, and Osorio's unlucky with his effort. But I say it and I say it again, Hibs have been the better side. They've had the better chances. Midtjylland are coming more into it, but there's nothing here for Hibs to be frightened about. Far from it.
Oh, that is a poor decision from the referee. Not only to award the free kick, which I didn't think was a valid decision, but he's also yellow carded Chris Cadden. I mean, he was going back. I just thought he outmuscled Shimshir there to win possession back. Martin Boyle's making his case. So it won't take away the free kick or the yellow card, but Chris Cadden, I think hard done by there.
That's a shocking decision for me. Chris Cadden again round that blindside. Shimshir looks to get his arm across his body. For one reason or other, he's decided to give him the yellow card.
The problem he's got, Scott, he's got an hour to go against Shimshir, who's the trickiest, liveliest player for Midtjylland, and he's going to be right up against him.
Yeah, it's a fair point. So let's hope he doesn't come to rue that, as Bishkov and Osorio stand over the free kick. It's midway inside the Hibs half, left hand side, but 12 metres maybe in from the touch line. Bishkov leaves, it'll be Osorio with the left foot to play it into the area. It's well won. Actually, I thought Iredale was going to win that, but it was Lee who came up from the back and towered above him, got the header on target, but it was well taken. It wasn't really all that powerful, thankfully, for Jordan Smith. He grabs it on the goal line, and it's still Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0. Here's Mulligan. Looks like a really
good find, didn't he? Not a find, actually. Good player.
Yeah.
You know, a young boy.
To get him and McGrath on free transfers, effectively, free contracts, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they'll cost a bit of money to Dundee, but I know what you're saying. You know, very, very good player.
Martin Boyle chases down the right hand side. Across comes Beck, fouls him. Free kick, Hibernian.
And I would think that's more of a booking, and certainly more than the Cadden one anyway.
I think that's what the Hibs fans are getting at as well. Portuguese referee doesn't seem to want to know, but it will be a free kick in a good position, more or less right on that right touch line, but only about 15 yards from the goal line.
Martin Boyle does well to win the free kick, get his body between man and ball. Hibs will obviously know a threat from set pieces. We've seen that many a time last season.
This has got to be a beater, Scott, surely, on his left foot.
Yeah, well,
right hand side, whipping it in.
He's already whipped in 2 belters already tonight.
Yeah, well, it's an opportunity here, certainly. McGrath and Obita both got terrific delivery. McGrath surely can't catch Lossell out for a second time. The angle doesn't really favour him, or the side doesn't really favour him. It's going to be Obita instead to swing it in. It's a good delivery. Lossell comes out, gets a good punch to the edge of the box, helped on there by Shimshir. Counter attacks on here, and in slides Bowie again. Didn't quite get full contact on the ball, but he did enough to put Midtjylland off. But it's given away by Levitt, picked up by Sorensen midway inside that Hibs half. I'll say it again, the first goal in this game is going to be absolutely crucial. It's Paulinho almost at the byline, comes back the way though to Shimshir. We've played 26 minutes, there's no goals tonight, one apiece on aggregate as Bishkov tries to feed it through for Paulinho. In steps McGrath. McGrath can't find a teammate, it's back in the possession of Midtjylland, and Shimshir takes on McGrath, left hand side into the box, can't find a teammate. Francolino's gone down in the middle, holding his face. O'Hara has a couple of words with him, and Midtjylland continue in possession in a deeper area. Sorensen's got plenty of room here to come forward, plays it back infield to Bishkov, who's dropped off the front once more. Sorensen again out to the right hand side to Mbabu. Midtjylland looking to work the opportunity here, find the space to try and find that opening goal, as Beck has it about 15 yards inside the Hibs half, plays it square to Lee on to Sorensen, right hand side out to Mbabu on the touchline. Rather fortuitously finds its way back to Sorensen. He can't keep it. Hibs pinch it. Now they can counter. It's Boyle. Goes one way then the other. Backtracking here is Osorio. He's got good pace, good strength. and wins it from Boyle. And although the Hibs fans protest, it was a good challenge, a fair challenge, and good play from Osorio to take it off Martin Boyle when he looked like he was in a pretty promising counter-attacking position. And Midtjylland have it back again on the halfway line. Francolino goes down that right channel, tries to get away from Iredale, but Iredale stands strong, picks his moment there to take it off Francolino. Terrific defending again by Iredale, and then good composed play by Obita to get it into Levitt. Hibs fans raise the temperature, raise the volume once more as Mulligan feeds it into Bowie. Brilliant save from Bowie to hold off Paulinho. Back to Mulligan. Mulligan now for Cadden inside the area. Cross goal, it comes, poor ball into the arms of Lawsall. Another really good move, and I have to say, Alan, Scott and I spoke about him a couple of times already, which is why I'll come to you. Kieran Bowie, he is really impressing me at the start of this season.
It was great to see him involved in the national team as well, because I think, see if he can improve on his finishing. I think that's the only thing that lets him down. He's not a natural finisher for me, but see, linking up, hold up play, winning the ball, link, everything that you'd want in a striker, but he needs to be a better finisher. Magnificent play from him, his strength there to hold the defender off.
It was a fantastic move from the start. It's dead easy in these situations, just turn the ball down the side. He actually showed that bit of composure from one side of the pitch to the other, and that's where you get that's where you create the space. You get Midtjylland obviously moving side to side. And then it's so important having a striker who can take the ball in and link up. At this level, it's so important. How many times you see someone come to the ball, it bounces off them, you're constantly under attack from the opposition. And over these two legs, for me, he's been outstanding up there doing that.
Yeah, here's Sorensen at the edge of the box for Midtjylland, out to the left-hand side. Shimshir up against Cadden. Shimshir onto the right foot, stands up to the back post. Obita, did he get a touch on that? The referee looks at his assistant, and they both eventually decide it'll be a goal kick.
Shimshir again.
Yeah,
great play by him again. But getting back to Bowie as well, you look when he's got his back to goal, Scott, he's got willing runners and Mulligan and McGrath. When he picks his head up, he can see the two of them running at him.
I think in that action there, he actually does the defender first and then just takes the ball in. Very, very clever. And you know yourself as a midfielder, when you know the ball's going to stick, you make the runs, you gamble, you get into areas. So important for a team.
Half an hour in, 0-0. 1-1 on aggregate between Hibs and Midtjylland. I mentioned Grant Hanley. I see him across to my left-hand side, and I think he's sitting beside his former Norwich and Scotland teammate David Marshall, if I'm not mistaken. Here come Hibs. McGrath out to the left-hand side to Obita. Obita well advanced. Thinks about the early cross from a deep area. Francolino's back with him, trying to prevent the cross coming in. Obita onto the right foot, and that's not a bad ball, but it's headed away by Paulinho. Will it be picked up by Levitt? Handball surely at the edge of the box. No, Alan Preston shakes his head, said, I'm assuming it wasn't deliberate, so yeah, I'll accept that. And Midtjylland will clear up to the halfway line. Francolino getting his foot to the ball, but he can't keep it, and then Bowie's done brilliantly once more. He's robbed Lee. It's Bowie still going, leaves it back to Boyle. Boyle at the edge of the box, deflected out to Cadden, can't bring it under control. Still the chance might be there. Mulligan at the edge of the box on the angle on the right hand side. Cadden once more on the right flank. Levitt tries to play the little disguised ball round the corner, doesn't quite come off. Not a bad idea, but Sorensen picks up and just lashes it down the left. Osorio can't hold on to it under pressure from Bashiri, and the Hibs fans again rise and get right behind their team. But I will go back to it once more. Kieran Bowie did another brilliant bit of work there for his side, and it should have ended up in a better opportunity, really.
I think if it goes down now, the referee's got a decision to make. He out-muscles the play, absolutely. Manhandles him right out the way.
It was the exact same thing he done a minute ago. He obviously does the defender first, takes the ball in. A real strength, and for me, Martin Boyle's got to lift his head there. I think it was McGrath was in a better position just to slip him. Try to tell Martin Boyle that when he's in the 18-yard box for his 100th goal for Hibs.
Yeah, it's going to come sooner or later. 32 minutes in, and we haven't had a goal as yet tonight. We've had plenty of decent chances. We have had the ball in the back of the net through Bowie. Yeah, it's a great ball from Levitt to find Mulligan, and Mulligan eats up the area. Now he's gone for goal. It's a bit ambitious. Rush of blood to the head, perhaps. He had 4 options there in McGrath, Bowie, Boyle and Cadden. and he chose the wrong one, which was to go for goal himself from 25 yards. It was always rising, and it's Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0.
Yeah, it was optimistic there from Mulligan. I think the right decision is to go to Cadden and then continue to run into the box. Cadden will look for that cut back, and you're 6-7 yards out for goal, maybe get a striking target. But again, I think just looking at him, I actually think Hibs are most vulnerable when they're actually in the attacking areas on to that counter-attack for Midtjylland. In terms of Midtjylland building up, and when Hibs are in shape, Hibs look really comfortable when they don't have possession of the ball in that shape, really comfortable.
Babu, right hand side, plays it forward. Sorensen looks like he's offside. Assistant referee keeps his flag down for now, at least, as in Babu plays it back once more. Still no flag, so the move continues as Osorio picks up 25 yards from goal, gets it back out to Mbabu, right hand side, tries to take on Obita sticking to his task. Bishkov still in support. Mbabu tries to take on Obita, and now the flag goes up, I think for a pull by Mbabu, but I suspect possibly that the assistant referee still had in his mind that he should have had the flag up about 30 seconds before that for the offside, because I didn't see too much wrong with the challenge by Mbabu. But either way, it is a Hibs free kick deep in their own territory. 33 minutes played. Hibernian 0, Midtjylland 0.
I'll say it again, Hibs are comfortable, they really are. Midtjylland have shown a bit of concern on this left hand side, but Hibs are by far and away the better team. Midfield to forwards, very dangerous, comfortable at the back as well.
Bowie wins a flick on for Boyle. Now it's back with McGrath, left hand side. Boyle once more takes over on the left flank, looking to try and get the better of Bravo. Plays it back to Obita. Obita takes a touch and they get the cross in. Osorio working back there, does well. That's good play from Osorio. That's a couple of times he's done that now. Once against Boyle and now against Obita, and he's bought the free kick in fact as well. And credit to the Chilean. He has perhaps not shown too much, and he missed a good opportunity in the earlier stages.
This is for a young Hibs fan, Jamie Taylor, 35 years of age, who sadly had an illness from the age of 11 and sadly passed away. We go and see Hibs home and away. Wonderful young man. I know his father. Very sad. And a brilliant tribute from the Hibs fans. Magnificent.
Yeah, rising to a man, woman and child to remember one of their own. Yeah, nice to hear that sad news, of course, and our thoughts with the family. Hibs in possession through Dylan Levitt into Mulligan. Levitt wanted it back, and that looked like the ball that was on, but it goes to O'Hara instead, and then back to Smith at the edge of his own penalty area, out to Bashiri. 10 minutes left in this first period, and still the deadlock has not been broken, as it's cheaply given away there by Iredale, and that allows Osorio to pick up. It's a good ball, and it's Shimshir at the edge of the box onto the left foot. Sliding challenge comes in from O'Hara to block. I think that was heading wide anyway, as Shimshir tried it on his left foot, but nonetheless O'Hara with a wonderful sliding challenge to avert the danger, because it certainly was danger after a brilliant pick out from the other flank from Osorio.
It's a great block from O'Hara. You think a player seems you think he's going to throw in the chop and O'Hara maybe slide away from it, but actually comes fired. Iredale very loose in possession over the left hand side.
Here's Beck, left hand side, back to Perlino. Perlino swings it into the box. Lee wins the header, but it's an easy take for Smith. No Midtjylland player inside the 6 yard box to win or get on to the end of that knockdown from Lee, who's winning a lot, you'd have to say, when it comes into the Hibs penalty area at set pieces. Smith with a poor clearance, and it's going to be picked up by Osorio, who goes down, but Bishkov continues, and it's Sorensen inside the area. Good save from Smith to atone for the poor kick out. And well, Hibs, as Alan says, maybe have been the better side, but they can't afford to give up cheap efforts like that to Midtjylland, because one time or the other they're going to punish you, but it's still 0-0.
Yeah, Smith caused it with a really poor kick out, but he redeemed himself with a good save. No, but you don't want to gift them chances like that.
Obita just manages to poke that back to Bashiri. Don't want slackness to begin to creep into this Hibs performance. They've been so sharp, generally speaking, as Levitt has it out to the right hand side to Cadden, back into Levitt, who really forced his way into the team towards the tail end of last season, earning the favour of his manager, and he certainly kept that.
Brilliant, Martin Boyle. Work ethic. The first minute been fantastic. Up and down the pitch.
Here's Lee in possession, just inside Hibs half, out to the right hand side for Mbabu. Back into Sorensen, who had that good chance just inside the Hibs area a moment ago, but Smith got down to save. And here's Beck just advancing over the halfway line, plays it into Francolino's feet, back with Pedro Bravo. Now Francolino once more out to the right hand side to Biskov and then Mbabu. Hibs back in their shape again, but they don't want to invite too much pressure here as Bravo has it about 30 yards from goal into Francolino, bounces it back to Sorensen. Sorensen for Francolino again, tries to bundle his way through, no way through for him though, but it comes to Bravo and now Sorensen out to Mbabu right hand side. Back to Biskov on the angle of the box. Bravo once more, picks out Sorensen. Good possession, stopped by Smith and hacked away by Bashiri before Francolino can get there. The offside flag is up actually. Francolino must have been in an offside position there, but that was good play, good patient play from Midtjylland, eventually picking the pass that almost opened up that Hibs defence, but it's still with 7 minutes left in the half. Hibernian 0, Midtjylland 0.
Yeah, Midtjylland over the last 5 minutes got a foothold in the game, start to control possession, and it all comes from Hibs' mistake, allowing them to gain confidence from mere loose balls in the middle of the park. It just shows you at this level, when you do allow teams back into the game, they start to rebuild confidence. Hibs have looked a wee bit nervous at times the last 5 minutes.
There's O'Hara pumping it long and high. Lee underneath it, nods it down to Mbabu. Mbabu on the right hand side tries to take it inside McGrath, gets the break of the ball off the Irishman and plays it back to Lee, who'll go back to his goalkeeper, more or less in a penalty spot, and helps it out to this left hand side to Paulinho. Remember, extra time and penalties very much a possibility, and the way the first half's gone, you wouldn't rule it out as Mbabu picks up, still level in the tie, 1 apiece on aggregate, 0-0 on the night here at Easter Road. As Beck has it, Midtjylland definitely feeling their way into the game as this first half grows on, much as they did in the first game actually. And there's a cute little back heel from Bravo to knock it off O'Hara and behind for another corner. And Biskov's deliveries from this left hand side have been quite inviting, and Hibs will have to be on their toes here as Beck and Lee come forward from centre back once more to add their aerial threat. And Babu also making his way into the 6 yard box as Midtjylland put 4 and 5 bodies inside that 6 yard area. Sorensen makes his move as it comes in. It's a dangerous ball, it's flicked on. Francolino will pick up at the back post. Can he find a little gap there? Smith stops it at his near post, and then it's thumped away from inside the Hibs penalty area. Hibs definitely don't want to be conceding at this juncture just before half time. We've got 3.5 minutes left of the first period as Shimshir picks up left hand side. Cadden backing off into the area. Here comes the Turk, finds room for the shot, but it's then blocked by Mulligan. Shimshir gets the ball back on the edge of the area. Now Biskov left hand side takes a deflection off Cadden, comes into the box, half cleared only as far as Francolino. Good challenge though by Bowie. Boyle tries to get onto it, but Bravo's there first and gets it back out to Mbabu right hand side into Francolino midway inside that Hibs half, spreads out to the left hand side for the dangerous Shimshir, facing up Cadden once more, looks to get onto his right, curls it, it's not too far away but it's off target. Hibs breathe again as half time approaches, just over 2 minutes left of the 45, and it's Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0.
Yeah, for the really good 5 minutes, Midtjylland there. Shimshir again involved, cutting inside, we're right behind it. He's unlucky, just wide of the target, but he's certainly the danger man. Hibs just need to, I think, get to half time now, because Midtjylland are coming into the game. It seemed to, it's like last week, as you said, they grew into the game last week. It's the same this week.
Yeah, certainly get that similar feeling about it as Jordan Smith prepares to take the goal kick, and again the Hibs fans look to try and rouse their team, just get that little 1% extra out of them as Lee gets his head to the ball ahead of Bowie, and then Sorensen nods it down to Paulinho. I think Midtjylland will be in a position of not really wanting the first half to come to an end. Quite the opposite probably for Hibs, who have just been second best in the last 5 minutes or so as Mbabu has it and plays it into Bravo. Back with Mbabu on the right hand side, and now it's Lee just inside his own half, plays it square to his captain Mads Beck. Beck Tries to dink that over the top, looking for Francolino. It's a beautifully judged ball, but Francolino just couldn't take it down in his stride and bring it under control, and it breaks off him and into the path of Jordan Smith. But it was a superbly judged pass from the captain to pick him out, and thankfully Smith gathers with no harm done, and he just will take his time here and he'll roll it out and then fire it over the halfway line looking for Bowie, but Beck gets there ahead of him. A header from O'Hara out to the right hand side. Cadden helps it on. Sorensen's there. Paulinho up in the air and out of play. And just over a minute left in this first period, plus any time to be added on.
It's been good. Good first half. Both teams playing well. Hibs started really well. We were unlucky not to score. Obviously the Bowie goal that this allowed for offside, like you see again. And then Midtjylland have certainly come into it in the second period of the first half.
O'Hara with the throw in midway inside the Midtjylland half right hand side. He's looking for Boyle, it doesn't quite reach him though. Paulinho gets there, Shimshire with the control, and then the back heel to find Sorensen. Sorensen can't though find Francolino, who again claims he was fouled off the ball. Ball's gone out for a Hibs throw in just inside the Midtjylland half. O'Hara's looking at, I think, David Gray to say, well, if you want me to do something different, as the fourth official emerges with his board, and we'll shortly see how much time is going to be added on as O'Hara hurls it forward once more. Bowie tries to help it on for Boyle, doesn't quite get there. Bowie almost picked up the seconds, but knocked away. But slack play for the first time by Shimshire, out for another throw in. As the fourth official, Portuguese, shows it'll be just 1 minute to be added on, and we are into that right now as O'Hara takes yet another throw in, looking again for Bowie. Bowie is deemed to be fouling Mads Beck though by the assistant referee, who flags and indicates for a throw in, a free kick to Midtjylland, which is quickly taken back to the goalkeeper. And now it's played to Lee. Lee, the Korean, comes forward up towards the halfway line. McGrath goes out to meet Mbabu, who quickly plays it back in field to Bravo. 0-0 as half-time approaches, 1-1 on aggregate. And here's Mads Beck just inside his own half, out to Paulinho left-hand side, further left to Shimshire as some of the Hibs fans make their way for their half-time pies. Beck plays it forward into Sorensen, back to Bravo inside the centre circle, gets his head up, plays it out to the right-hand side. There's a time for one last chance here in this first period. Bravo picks up once more from Mbabu and then goes back to Lee. Lee just inside Hibs territory, back to Mbabu, tries to play it down the wing. Obita gets in the way and it breaks infield for Levitt. Levitt looks up, can he pick out Bowie? Just behind him, and Beck steps in, knocks it forward. That's the last act of a very lively first half here at Easter Road, but no goals to bring you. The ball was in the back of the net from Kieran Bowie after 14 minutes. A wonderful move in with Obita swinging it in from the left-hand side. Bowie at the back post to tap in. He thought it was 1-0. The assistant referee on our near side had other ideas, flagging for offside, and that was backed up by VAR. And well, there have been chances other than that for both sides, you would have to say. Jordan Smith had to look lively a couple of times to keep Midtjylland at bay. Osorio knocked one over. Shimshire had a chance of it just off target as well, trying to curl one as Midtjylland came more and more into the game. Hibs though early on had Boyle, an effort deflected just wide. McGrath sent an effort just wide as well, but the longer that half wore on, the more dangerous Midtjylland looked. And so at half-time the scoreline reads Hibernian 0, Midtjylland 0, 1-1 on aggregate.
Hibernian in the Europa League qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Every season,
you could not write this script.
What a game!
It all builds.
Celtic will be crowned champions today. Aberdeen have won the Scottish Cup.
Towards these moments.
Hibernian are SWPL champions. Rangers have done it in style today.
The Bairns are back in the big league.
And Livingston are going up.
But
I'm studying his face to see if there's a tear in the eye.
And now it's time to do it all again.
The stage is set, our team is ready, let's get started.
So how do you see it going?
A new season of Scottish football lives here.
Don't miss a moment of the action.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Yes, the domestic action back at the weekend. Sports Sound primed and ready as we are across BBC Sports Scotland. You're listening to Sports Sound with me, Thomas Duncan. The second of a European doubleheader. Hibs holding their own and more at Easter Road, but still nothing to separate Hibernian and Midtjylland in their Europa League tie. Earlier, Dundee United got the better of Strassen of Luxembourg by 1-0 away from home to reach the third qualifying round of the Conference League. It wasn't pretty from Jim Goodwin's men, but ultimately it doesn't matter. Yuri Jovu's second half header, his first senior goal, was enough for victory. That added to Zach Sapsford's strike at Tannadice in the first leg. It looks like it'll be Rapid Vienna next week for United. They're 4-0 up on aggregate, 2-0 up on the night against, and it's now 2-1 actually to Rapid Vienna against Decic, but still comfortably 4-1 ahead on aggregate. So that would be a mouth-watering tie for Dundee United to get stuck into against Rapid Vienna next week. But can Hibernian get through in the Europa League after Rangers did so last night in the Champions League? They've certainly got the type of performance they would have been after in the first half. Scott Allen.
Yeah, listen, I think similar to last week in terms of how Hibs started the game, really brightly, good intensity about them, created chances, looked dangerous. The only thing Hibs haven't had in this first half is a goal. Obviously, yet to see the Kieran Bowie goal that was disallowed back yet. I think it might have been Martin Boyle who strayed offside across the goalkeeper's eye line. But I think David Gray at half time will be delighted with how his team have been in and out of possession again. I think just the only thing for me, when Hibs have got at the back four of Midtjylland, sometimes the decision making just hasn't quite been the right one, whether that's taking a shot when you should maybe have passed it, or maybe passing it when you should have shot. And I think Hibs just take a little bit of care in the final third. They will score goals against this side, because there's something there for Hibs tonight. I think, especially seeing how well they are in terms of discipline wise at the back and the work that everybody's putting in. Kieran Bowie, a standout again for me in terms of the job he's doing for the team. Obviously the height that he carries as well, he can also do that from defensive set piece situations as well. So really positive from Hibs, and just hoping that they can get this goal in the second half.
Yeah, perhaps just need to add a little bit more finesse, which is understandable at this very early stage of the season, Alan Preston. But almost if you contrast it to Dundee United, who got the job done, and that's all that really matters, but if you contrast it to United earlier, they look like a team still very much trying to gel and work out exactly how they're playing and build those connections. Hibernian, on the other hand, look like a team who are completely comfortable with what they're trying to do.
Yeah, they look like a team that's been together for a long time, and when you look at the likes of Mulligan and McGrath and guys like that, Bowie's not played a lot of first team football. They've been excellent, really good, and they started the game really well. Boyle had a shot early on, but was blocked by Lee. Then McGrath had a shot just over the bar on his left foot, and then obviously the goal that was disallowed, which Thomas, you maybe get a better view than we have. We thought was a great goal, really good ball in by a beater. Bowie he smashes it into the back of the net, and then from then on, you think, go on Hibs, go and take the game to them. And I thought Hibs were very good for that opening 35 minutes, but the last 10 minutes of that opening period, Midtjylland just crept into it. Sims here on the left hand side, there's a real threat, real concern. Cadden's booked playing against him. He's going to have to be very careful in the second half, but it's all here for Hibs. The crowd have been brilliant, I've got to say that. Sold out Easter Road, they've been right behind the team, they're giving them the full backing, and the team's produced in that opening period. I think Hibs have been good value, they really have, but Midtjylland are starting to creep into this game, so they're going to have to be careful. I think we're in for a long night, Thomas, I honestly do. I said that at the start. I think if this could go the whole way, because it's two really good sides and evenly matched sides as well.
We'll see. As long as Hibernian get through, I'll take it, Alan, that's for sure. But I have had another couple looks at the disallowed goal for Kieran Bowie, but I have to say that the angles aren't really definitive. I think it is Martin Boyle, as Scott touched on, that's just offside and probably judged to be interferent with the play as it comes in from Abita. But it's a really good cross from Abita, who's started the season really well, Scott.
Yeah, he has. I think the fact that the physicality he does possess, I think for these sort of ties, I think that's maybe why he picked ahead of Nicky Cadden, who for me was arguably Hibs' best player last season in terms of assists, some of the free kicks that we've seen him score as well, and big moments that he had throughout the season. So He must have had a good pre-season. Obviously the attributes I speak about, you can see that tonight. Getting his body across, that experience as well. Went to buy free kicks from the referee and take a bit of pressure off, and also that quality in the ball, which you've seen with some of his deliveries into the box. So I think what Al touched on in terms of that Cadden-Sincere battle, that's going to be very interesting in the second half as the game goes on, because as fatigue kicks in, a player of that ability who's looking to suck you in and then take your other way, it's very easy to dangle a leg, give the referee a decision. So that'll be interesting to see how David Gray manages that situation, because Chris Cadden, in terms of his overall performances, he's been excellent as well, and wrongly booked for me in my eyes.
Yeah, it was a harsh one for Chris Cadden, and he is walking a tightrope somewhat in the second half to come, and potentially longer. And just watching Hibs, Alan, they just look like a team who have got really good physicality, running power, and the kind of right sprinkle when you add in Levitt and McGrath, Boyle of technical quality as well. They just seem to know, David Gray seems to know exactly what he's wanting to build in terms of his squad and his team.
He does, and he knows he wants to play as well, Thomas. That's the thing. It wasn't too low last year when he lost, wasn't too high when he won, and you can see that it goes throughout his team as well. When you look at his bench, Johan, Cadden, Hoylett, Josh Campbell still in there. We've got Grant Hanley sitting literally about 20 feet from us. He'll be added to the Hibs squad, you would imagine, in the coming 24, 48 hours. He's building a real squad, and you want them to stay in Europe as long as they can. I think tonight, if they can win this, they've got a real winnable tie in the next round against Fredrikstad from Norway. I think if they lose tonight, it's a tough one against Partizan Belgrade. I really do. So I think it's here for them, and that once they get into that next round, if they can get Fredrikstad, they can beat them. That's them in the group stages, guaranteed of European football. It's certainly there for Hibs. They've not been out of place, although they've not been in Europe for a couple of years, but they've been, for me, I think they've been terrific. I really have. I think I've been very impressed with them. Moving over so it's like a leg and a half at the moment. I've been impressed with them in that leg and a half so far. David Gray's got them well prepared, well drilled. They can all see what they've got to do. They get back into their shape when they don't have the ball, and that wasn't something that this Hibs team was doing a year ago at the start of the season in the League Cup. They were all over the place, so it's all credit to David Gray for what he's done. Yeah, the transformation over the course of a year has been nothing short of remarkable, really, from Hibernian and David Gray. Partizan Belgrade 3-0 up against Alexandria of Ukraine, 5-0 up on aggregate, and Alexandria reduced to 10 men early in that tie. So the loser of this one, Hibernian Midtjylland, will drop in and play Partizan Belgrade, which is a very tough tie. Rangers kind of faced that, where they looked like if they dropped into the Europa League, they had a tougher tie than progressing in the Champions League, where of course they play Victoria Pilsen next week. So the incentive is there for Hibernian, a winnable tie against Fredrikstad in the next round if they can get through, and then within touching distance, if you get in the playoff, you're guaranteed to drop into the Conference League stage, as Alan said. And it would be massive for Scottish football to get 4 teams, Alan, into the league phase of all the European competitions, and potentially 5 as well, because United's still in the mix. Well, we're needing it. We certainly need it, Thomas. Our coefficient's dropping down. We need as many of the teams to do well in Europe. If we can get as many in, if we can get the 5 in, it would be incredible. Never been done before. If we can get them all in, it's going to be very difficult for them, but they've got a chance. There's certainly nothing that Hibs should be frightened of here. We'll see who Aberdeen get. We know exactly now who Rangers will play, and then the draw will come for Celtic. Dundee United will have a really tough tie next. But we need Scottish teams to do well. We certainly do, because we're dropping down this European League like a hot brick. And it needs to stop. We need to stop it at some point and start climbing again. Yeah, we want to see Scottish teams doing well in Europe. We would like to see Scottish players doing well in Europe. You've picked him out a number of times, Kieran Bowie. He had an unfortunate season last season, looked good at times, Scott Allen, but was hit with injuries. He looks to have started this season on fire, and he just adds so much to that Hibs front line. Yeah, I think first and foremost, obviously getting a good pre-season under your belt. You ask any player how important that is for how your season's going to look. It's invaluable. I then look at his performance, especially at this level, and I think Steve Clark will as well. How he's bullied the Midtjylland defenders over 2 legs here. The amount of times the ball's up to him, he's took it in, he's looked after it, he's switched to play, he's linked with a teammate. All signs of a striker who's hungry. Obviously we touched on that Scotland national team situation and where we're at with strikers. If he can just add a wee bit more finesse in terms of front of goal, he's got to be in a real chance of playing, because all the other attributes that he's bringing to the team is exactly the sort of thing Steve Clark would look for in his number 9.
like I said in the earlier bit that I was speaking about, he even gives you that defensive option, defending set pieces as well. So it's all things that add to his game. If he can get the goals this season, and from what I've seen tonight, I think he's going to start the Premiership like a house on fire. And if Hibs were to come through this tie, what confidence do they take as a team? Hibs, we always speak about what managers do on the training ground. You can quite clearly see that this team, to a man, all coaching staff are all singing off the same hymn sheet. They have worked on this, they've had a game plan, and they've executed it absolutely fantastically so far. All that's missing is that goal, obviously, to take the lead and give them the chance to go into the next round. But I've been mightily impressed with Hibs, and most especially Kieran Bowie, because me as a midfielder, when you know a ball's going to stick, you make the gambling runs. You know that you can run off people, and he's going to link up. So long may it continue.
Yeah, indeed. Alan, what have you made of Midtjylland? Shimshir looks the most likely to make something happen, as he did with that wonderful free kick in the first leg. They just seem to start a bit, maybe rattled too strong, but they were definitely on the back foot. But then they've kind of grown into it and had a few chances at the end of that first half.
I think reading some of the comments from the game last week, they underestimated Hibs. They've certainly not done that tonight. But Shimshir is certainly the class act. He's the one that's got that little bit of difference, a little bit of ability, the movement of the hips that can go one way or the other. The final ball into the box, he's put some decent balls in as well. So had a couple of efforts himself just wide of the target. He would be the one that they would try and get the ball out to. But they've grown in stature, Thomas, as the game's gone on. Hibs, for me, for 35 minutes were excellent all over them. But as the game's go on, Midtjylland have started to get a grip of the middle of the park. You know, and I think that Hibs midfield, Mulligan, McGrath, Levitt have got to just step forward and make sure that they're picking up second balls if they can, because Midtjylland, with time going on to that first half, were just beginning to dominate. We're going from one side to the other, starting to get crosses in, starting to get balls into the box. And the alarming thing, and Scott's touched on it, is the corners. Hibs are short at corners. It's 2v1 all the time. Now, they've only taken a couple of short ones, but they're going to have to be careful, because Shimshir sits himself at the edge of the box. So if we can get it to him quickly, he can get a strike at goal. So we're going to have to be wary of that.
Yeah, Scott, I don't want to oversimplify the game too much, but I wonder just if at the start of the second half, Hibs maybe try and play the percentages a bit more and try and play for a bit of territory, just to take the sting out of what Midtjylland were kind of building towards the end of that first period.
Yes and no. I think when you say play for territory, it still has to be done with a bit of quality, and I do think when you invite the press and you manage to play out it, you then have more space to hit. You then have Chris Cadden running into space, you have Martin Boyle hitting into space, but if you don't move Midtjylland, and there's no real area to hit, and then that's when you're vulnerable on the second balls, and Midtjylland then try to strike you. For me, Hibs look most vulnerable when they're actually attacking in the final third. That's where that loose pass or the wrong decision, they look to counter quick with some of the players they have. That's where Hibs look most vulnerable for me. So more of the same, obviously looking for a fast start second half, get close to guys, put them under real pressure, but at times you have to be brave in the ball, you have to play through the pressure, and that'll allow you, obviously with a 3-5-2 against a 4-4-2, the space is wide to get the players into areas where they can go and hurt Midtjylland.
Yeah, Midtjylland players back out early, huddling up on the Easter Road's surface. Interested to see snaps of Grant Hanley in the crowd alongside David Marshall, a free agent at the moment, obviously the Scotland centre-back. A few reports Hibs are interested in signing him, so I wonder if that is something that will progress over the next few days. But the focus is very much on the pitch. Hibernian still level with Midtjylland, 1-1 on aggregate, 0-0 after the first half at Easter Road. The Hibs players just emerging from the tunnel, so it's time to hand you back to Alan Preston, Scott Allen and Alistair Lamont.
Thanks again, Thomas. Yeah, Hibs back out, and no changes in personnel for either side, I think I'm right in saying. And so we'll continue in what was such a closely fought encounter, both in the first half and indeed the first leg. And they've yet to be separated, with 45 minutes to find out if either of these sides can find a winner, or else we're heading for extra time and the potential of spot kicks as well. Hibs, I mentioned earlier, they've not been beaten here since November. They've got such a good record here of late, and actually if you look beyond that, what was a fairly horrendous experience against Aston Villa here a couple of seasons back, their home record generally in Europe in recent times, other than that, is pretty good. They haven't lost another one since they lost here to another Danish side, Brøndby, 1-0. And good few victories here since then. Can they notch another one which might well go down as their most impressive one in recent times? Were they able to see off Midtjylland, who are definitely a team nowadays in the last decade or so, have definitely grown into be a team with a real European stature, one that most football fans know about. But Hibs have been certainly a match for them without a doubt. As Alan said, at times they were better than them, there's no doubt about it. And here they are, Hibernian starting the second half brightly on the front foot as Cadden tries to get an early ball in. He can't get it beyond his marker though is Paulinho. Shimshir emerges with possession, but Cadden's nicked it off him and it's into Boyle. Was he taken down there in the edge of the box? The referee says no, it was Bravo who made the challenge. Paulinho's still down as Midtjylland tried to come forward. It was a good challenge there by Iredale, and he plays it out to Cadden. Cadden, right hand side, looks for Boyle early on. Beck got back there, and then Paulinho, who's got himself back to his feet, knocks it out of play, promptly falls to the deck once more. It'll be a Hibs throw in, but not before Paulinho, I think, requires a bit of treatment in the left back, and it's going to be just a little stoppage here. But an impressive opening 90 seconds again from Hibernian. Just a final ball on a couple of occasions there, Scott, just letting them down.
Yeah, it all started with that touch from Jamie McGrath. Hard one to take out there. He obviously opens the game up and they switch out to Cadden. For me, I think that's Hibs' best kind of route, going from one side to the other, quick through the pressure with that wee bit of quality. Cadden maybe looks to, for me sometimes, is looking to cross a wee bit too early. Sometimes as it on down that side, can they then work it again, get this Midtjylland side moving, and allow obviously your midfielders to get in the box and give you a chance to score. But a really bright start again.
He's a good player, Cadden, but he's not got the delivery of his brother.
He hasn't. He hasn't.
Lefties are always better, Scott, I'm afraid.
I would argue with that.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, certainly Hibs have got two in the shape of both Nicky Cadden and Obita. Well, that's extremely sporting of Chris Cadden, who's thrown that out for a goal kick. I'm not sure that he needed to do that, giving it straight back to Midtjylland there with Paulinho down, getting some treatment. But fair dues, fair play to Chris Cadden. And it's a goal kick to Midtjylland and gets back underway. 0-0 at Easter Road, 1-1 on aggregate. Bashiri gets his head to the ball and it's picked up by Boyle. Boyle then comes infield, racing forward here down the left hand side is Obita to join the attack, and that's where the ball goes. Out comes Mbabu. Boyle just sold Obita very slightly short there with the pass, and Mbabu was able to make the challenge and knock it out for a throw-in on this near side. And that'll invite Jack Iredale forward to throw one into the penalty area. The throw-in more or less in line with the penalty area as Hibs look for the breakthrough. 0-0 on the night. 1-1 on aggregate in this Europa League second qualifying round match. Iredale winding up the long throw in here from the left hand side. Plenty of Hibs bodies forward. Bashiri's in the box there as well as O'Hara's. Iredale aims for the near post, but it's a comfortable take. He didn't even have to jump there. The goalkeeper Jonas Losso just took it in, and that comes to nothing, unfortunately, for Hibernian. Bowled out to Mbabu then. Mbabu plays a poor ball forward. Obita picks up now. McGrath tries to force it forward. Comes back the way of Midtjylland player to Iredale, who tries an adventurous and ultimately unsuccessful pass cross field, and it's potentially promising here now for the Danes as Mbabu gets it back to Shimshir, who's drifted out to the right hand side. Bishkov can't get the better of Iredale, but it comes out to Mbabu. Not a bad ball in, away by Iredale once more, and then helped on by Obita. Bowie, trying to make it difficult for Lee. Well, he was second to it, but he almost won that from Lee, and it was only the help of Shimshir that kept the ball there for Midtjylland. But here's Osorio out to Mbabu, right hand side. That's a poor cross, and over the crossbar, straight behind. Almost 5 minutes of the second half played. These teams will not be separated. Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0.
I would just tell Bowie to go and play right through the middle. Don't come in the wider areas. Right centre forward, plonk yourself in between the two centre halves. Let one of them come and pick you up. We'll knock balls up to you. You hold it and we'll run off you. Don't go into the wider areas, because he's such a threat, such a powerful young man.
Yeah, I think they're spot on. I think if he obviously becomes that main focal point, it allows Martin Boyle, obviously with his pace, to drop in, maybe spin down the side, which is harder obviously to track as a defender. And you know you'll always have that out ball with that physical presence that Kieran Bowie possesses.
Levitt didn't do Bashiri any favours there as they tried to play out from the back, and Bashiri's just lashed it upfield and given the ball away, and it's Lee into Bishkov and now out to the left hand side for Shimshir, supported here by Paulinho, who looks to have recovered from the knock he took a few minutes ago. Bishkov back to Shimshir, he's found a bit of space left hand side. Boyle's doing the defending here, it comes back to Bishkov, he'll go for goal, and that is not far away, or at least it didn't look too far from our angle, albeit it might just have been slicing off the right foot there of Bishkov. Looked like it might have been heading for the top corner, but Jordan Smith saw it all the way, and it's wide and behind, and it's still Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0.
Decent effort there. All comes from Simsier. Obviously, that you're a player, you know obviously the quality possessions in that area. He's now attracting two guys, so there's somebody else free. Obviously choosing the decision to come back inside the pitch and to get the shot away. Just whistles by the post. Hibs, it's really important at a stage in the game that Hibs don't try and force too much. They've got to take their time with the ball, work it, move them side to side. They don't have to win the game in the first 10 minutes this half.
Here's Sorensen on the halfway line for Midtjylland. 6.5 minutes of this second period gone. 0-0 as Osorio picks up right hand side up against McGrath, tries to take him on for pace, and he's got the better of him. Obita can't get there either, but the ball into the box is gathered low by Smith. It's a dangerous looking ball. Francolino was the only man in the middle though, he couldn't get there. Smith gathers and rolls it out to Levitt. Still 0-0.
I think he'd be disappointed that Francolino didn't get across the front of the defender there. It's a side foot tap in if he runs across the front post.
Good play by Cadden, but Mulligan couldn't get it back to him, and Midtjylland win possession once more, and it's Paulinho out to Shimshir left hand side on that touchline, but coming in field. Mulligan backing off, and he comes. Shimshir slips it back to Paulinho. Sorensen still in support. It's Paulinho who does play it to Sorensen left hand side. Cadden with his arms behind his back to ensure the ball doesn't come off it. The cross comes into the box, it's headed away. Bravo picks up, and then Osorio, and now it's back with the Midtjylland captain Beck. Danish league runners up from last season, begun this season with a 3-3 draw at home and then a 6-2 win at home, as well as that 1-1 draw against Hibs. The ball's played through for Francolino. It's got to be offside. He does slot it past Jordan Smith. The flag doesn't come, and at the moment Hibs are behind to Francolino's wonderfully cool finish. But I mean, he looked a good few yards offside, but the assistant has not flagged, and Midtjylland, as things stand, have the advantage here at Easter Road. It is Hibernian 0, Midtjylland 1, and now we hope for a VAR decision to rule that one out, because otherwise Hibs are trailing.
It looked all the world offside to me, Al. You can't look past the finish, so it's a great run. It's a lovely take, and he obviously just slots it past Jordan Smith. Obviously sit here waiting to see what the VAR decision was.
I mean, when he received the ball, Alan, he was a good 10 yards behind the last Hibs defender. Now I know that can be deceiving.
It certainly looked at, you know, but the official, there was no doubt in the official on this side. He runs back to the halfway line. He was in no doubt it was a goal.
Well, Francolino certainly tucked it away very coolly. That will be a 6th goal of the season for him already in just his 4th game. The Guinea-Bissau international. Oh, I'm getting a word in my ear which suggests that he might well have been onside, which frankly is incredible to me, but you know, it can be very deceiving.
No goal.
It's been chopped off.
Yeah, they thought that. They thought he was off.
Well,
it's one each, you know, it's one chopped off each, very close. The Hibs won, and that must, you know.
Well, the assistant referee kept his flag down even when the ball hit the back of the net, and goes down as a poor decision from him, but VAR thankfully getting it right, as I assume they must have in the first half as well, but you're right, 1 goal, a piece chopped off, and it's still 0-0 on the night. and 1-1 on aggregate. But Francolino thought he had, like Kieran Bowie in the first half, put his side ahead. Neither have stood, and so still goalless as Boyle does brilliantly, and now it's Cadden bursting into the box, gets his shot off, good stop, and poked away by Bravo before Mulligan could pounce on the rebound. It was a good hit from Cadden, but just too close to the keeper as Hibs open Midtjylland up, and here comes Levitt. Francolino back there to win it for Midtjylland, but plays it only to O'Hara, and now Levitt all the way back to his goalkeeper, and it's livening up again here.
Hibs energised from that offside goal. Brilliant play from Martin Boyle finding Chris Cadden. He takes that first positive touch with a low drive. It's a good save, and Jamie McGrath just can't get in the follow-up.
Here's Mulligan advancing up towards the edge of the penalty area. Plays it looking for Bowie. It's not a great pass from Mulligan. He needed to measure that one better. Perhaps didn't even need to play the pass just as early as he did. And Midtjylland pick up once more. Still goalless, but Hibs surviving a real scare a moment ago as Francolino had the ball in the back of the net. McGrath plays a terrible pass for Shimshir. Shimshir knocks it over O'Hara. Toss comes Bashiri. O'Hara getting back as well. Shimshir looks back inside McGrath to atone for his error. And Hibs fans are on their feet once more, and here comes Boyle now, bursting down the left-hand side. The game has really come to life, but he just runs into Mbabu, and then it's Bishkov picking up possession, right-hand side for Midtjylland. We've played 56.5 minutes. No goals as yet, but Alan, you've seen a replay of that Francolino chopped off effort.
Very close. It was close. It was. We thought it was yards. It was tighter than that. A lot tighter than that. But the right decision.
Here's Bravo picking up possession for Midtjylland. Now Lee.
What it has done now is galvanised the fans again.
Drifted into the area there by Osorio, but all the way through to Smith before Francolino or Bishkov could get anything on it. And so, still with just over half an hour remaining, still level pegging, still 0-0 on the night, still 1-1 on aggregate. You listen to Sports on here on BBC Radio Scotland. A fascinating battle here between the third best team in Scotland last season and the Danish runners-up, looking to secure passage to the third qualifying round of the Europa League. Fredrikstad will be the team the winners will play. The losers going to the Conference League third qualifying round to play Partizan Belgrade, assuming that one's finished with Partizan Belgrade having secured that comfortable lead they had. Knocked straight out of play there by Midtjylland. It's going to be a Hibs throw deep in their own territory, left-hand side, which Jack Ardale will come across and take. I was just going to ask about potential substitutions now. I see Hibs are going to the bench, so let's see who they're going to bring on. Josh Campbell is first one stripped, and that substitution is going to take place right now, and it's Chris Cadden who makes way. He had that effort at goal just a few moments ago, hitting the target, but unable to beat Jonas Lossel, and now he will be replaced, and so that'll need a little bit of tinkering, I think.
Mulligan will go and play right wing back.
Yeah, he can definitely do that, can't we? Saw him play that role for Dundee a lot, actually. And Campbell gives you plenty of legs in the middle of the park, so it's not like you're really losing out there, because Mulligan certainly gives you that in the middle as well, but more than comfortable playing in that wing back role, as we saw him do so effectively for Dundee last season. So Campbell on, Cadden off, first change of the match for either side, and Hibs have a throw in down below us. That's going to come through for Martin Boyle. Mistake by Beck. Boyle holding it up. Campbell makes the run beyond them. He can't squeeze it through to him, and then the despairing challenge by Paulinho is penalised. Oh, it's an offside actually that's been penalised. Boyle in the initial attack was off, which I did have my suspicions about, but hoping that Martin Boyle could escape and poke it through for Campbell. It just didn't quite happen. Still 0-0 then, an hour played at Easter Road, one apiece on aggregate. Now it's Midtjylland's turn to come forward. Hibs definitely having raised their game just in the few minutes since that Francolino goal was chopped off. It's a goal kick to Hibs. Midtjylland claiming for a corner, but the referee thinks otherwise. And with half an hour left on the clock, it is still very much all to play for here in Leith, as Rocky Bashiri prepares to take the goal kick. Taking short to his goalkeeper Jordan Smith, who smashes it upfield. He's looking for Boyle. He hasn't won it. He's looking for a free kick there as Bishkov takes the shot on, and Bashiri gets his body in the way, and Obita then helps it down the left-hand side as Midtjylland are going to make a double change. Campbell wanted to take a quick throw in there, but the changes are going to come here as Daniel Castillo and Victor Bak are going to come on. Bak started left back in the first leg. Castillo came on, and he's going to come on again here tonight. And Bak is just going to slot in instead of Paulinho. That's a straight swap. And the other man coming off is Bishkov, who's done okay, but he'll be replaced by Castillo, the Ecuadorian, who came on to win a penalty and allow Francolino to score his hat-trick goal on Monday in the Danish league. And they're looking for him to make a positive impact tonight. So two changes there from Midtjylland to follow Josh Campbell's introduction for Hibernian, as Hibs take the throw-in down the left-hand side, and Babu heads it forward. First touch there for Castillo, closed down there by Josh Campbell. Out of play for a Midtjylland throw-in deep in their own territory. 62, almost 63 played, 0-0 it stands as the Hibs fans again rise to their feet and find their voice, trying to help get their team over the line as Beck loses out in the sliding challenge there by Campbell, and it's picked up by Levitt into the middle of the park for McGrath. Levitt once more. Mulligan's in absolutely acres over on that right side. Not quite sure why Levitt decided against passing it to him directly. Eventually it finds its way out, but he's in a lot less space now, and he has to go back to O'Hara, and O'Hara rather dithers on the ball and then plays it back to Smith inside his penalty area. Smith's clearances haven't been all that great, you'd have to say, this evening, but Josh Campbell's done well to win a foul for his side in the centre circle, which is quickly taken by Levitt out to the left-hand side to Iredale. Iredale played it forward for Bowie. Again, brilliant hold-up play against Lee. Plays it out to the left-hand side now for Obita, up against Mbabu. Can he find room for a cross? Well, Mbabu gets a touch to it, takes it behind for a corner, and the Hibs fans once more get behind their side and looking for this opening goal. Corner kick from the left-hand side forthcoming, and across comes Jamie McGrath to swing this one in from the left. And an opportunity here for Bashiri, O'Hara, Iredale to come forward and try and get their head on this corner kick. McGrath can usually be relied upon for good delivery. Let's see what he can produce here. It's the right foot of Jamie McGrath, the Irishman, towards the back post, and again Lossell, who to be fair, he's held on to absolutely everything that's come his way, having had a little bit of a shaky start to the season, but he took that one under a little bit of pressure towards his back post. A comfortable take in the end for the goalkeeper, and the chance comes to nothing for him. Still 0-0 after 64 minutes.
I think both keepers have done well with set plays coming on top of them, and I'm loving the new 8-second rule where the keepers have got to get rid of the ball quicker. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Normally, Scott, the keeper would probably still have it in his hands by now.
Not in the 90th minute if you're 1-0 up though.
No, I get that, but it's great. The best thing they've done in years.
Yeah, it has been. To be fair, Hibs have looked to get the ball moving even from throw-ins very quickly. Haven't really been taking their time at all.
Here's Beck out to the left-hand side for Bak, the left back. newly introduced, looks to play the 1-2 down that left flank. He's done well back, and he had the shot from the right foot, and his composure completely evaded him there, having done all the hard work, worked the opportunity brilliantly, but he just lost the plot at the end, and he fires it well over the top, having made the space, played the 1-2, but a wayward shot in the end, thankfully for Hibernian. 65 minutes in, Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0, 1-1 on aggregate.
Real chance there for Midtjylland, obviously. I think it's O'Hara and Campbell between the two of them. There's a mix-up, and obviously the substitute coming on gets inside on his right foot and blazes over the bar. Hibs will be thankful for that.
I think that's the difference. Scott is on his weaker foot, slashes at it instead of showing a bit of composure. It opens up for him.
Over the halfway line it comes as Bowie tries to make something of it, can't get onto that one, and Midtjylland pick up, and it's surely offside this time. It's going to allow it to be played on. Francolino's in again, round the keeper, back goes O'Hara on the cover, and now the flag does go up, but referee allowing play to continue because Hibs have won possession, and it's Mulligan for McGrath. Bowie is onside, and he'll chase that down the right channel as Campbell just checked out of it. I think he would have been offside. Now he picks up, plays it out to the right to Mulligan. Campbell's still available to him, but Mulligan comes in field. It's Bowie, lets it run across him. Can he get the shot off? Good challenge by Castillo. Still Bowie. Boyle inside the penalty area. He's been dragged to the ground. Claims for a penalty. Back to Obita. Comes off Bowie. Now the flag's up for offside. Well, everything was happening there. And, Hibs just could not fashion a shooting opportunity. Again, Bowie integral to everything Hibs are doing. Just couldn't get the shot off on his left foot.
Yeah, but the chance at the other end is offside. He's clearly offside. Good advantage played by the referee when Hibs win the ball right up the other end. Bowie's involved, as you say, but I think Boyle just finally offside. The ball comes back to Obita and he smashes it across, but the flag then goes up.
And it comes to the Hibs penalty area. It's over Obita, but Osorio won't catch that, and is behind for a goal kick. It's been breathless stuff here at Easter Road, pretty much from the off. I cannot believe we've not had a goal, to be quite honest with you.
I think if we do, that'll be it. Whoever gets it, it's going to be difficult for the other one to get back in. I think such a tight game, two evenly matched sides.
Yeah, been a fantastic game so far. I actually think that shift in terms of Josh Mulligan out to that wing-back position, I think it actually might favour Hibs as the game goes on. He's got that real powerful running strength in him. We've obviously seen that last attack.
My only worry, Scott, is if Simsier gets back on the ball going at him.
Yeah,
that's my worry, going back to part with Mulligan in that position.
Let's see how it pans out, but I just feel if they can go from one side out to him.
Oh, that's good play. Iredale forward for Campbell, left hand side, up to the penalty area he comes. He can't find a pass for Bowie. Bowie's disappointed that it didn't reach him as Mbabu emerges with possession. He's dragged to the ground. Hibs fans don't agree, but the referee gives a free kick to Midtjylland midway inside their own half, right hand side. We've played just over 67.5 minutes, just beyond that midway point in this second period. There's going to be another change here as Midtjylland are the ones making. There's a yellow card there for someone from the Midtjylland coaching staff. I'm not sure what that was over, but here's the good news. Shimshir's been replaced, albeit Gogorsa, who's coming on, is a decent player himself, but I don't think anyone in green and white will be sorry to see the back of Shimshir.
No, I think he's got great technical ability, really good final ball as well.
Maybe just faded out about, you were talking about whether he's going to get back on the ball. He maybe just faded in the last 10 minutes, and perhaps that's why the change is being made.
To track the Josh Mulligan runs. Must have heard me.
Alan, the thing is as well, there was a real chance for Hibs there. If Campbell, it's his final cross into the box, he pulls it back. Boyle's made a great run across the near post. He's looking for the first time ball in, and Campbell cuts it back. Young lad's just got to pick his head up, see his captain, try and find him.
Well, we spoke about that at half-time, just that final ball, the final decision is so important. It can be the difference. It's maybe the third or fourth time tonight that the Hibs player in that final third has chose the wrong decision, not managed to get a shot or a corner from the situation.
Here's Osorio picking up right hand side and then driving infield away from Campbell. Forward comes back out to the left hand side, and it's the substitute Gogorsa in onto the angle. It's a good ball in. Sorensen trying to get on the end of it. Well matched there by Iredale, who gets the subsequent header clear, and now it's Campbell. Back comes Mbabu to prevent him getting the ball forward, and then a combination of Mbabu and Osorio drags him to the ground, and Campbell applauding the run of Bowie. He just couldn't get his head up and get his feet sorted to get the pass out to him, but he does get the free kick for his side, midway inside Hibs territory, left hand side. It's still 0-0 with just over 20 to play. It's 1-1 on aggregate, and as Alan said, it might well be that as open as this game has been, that one goal settles it either way, and it's anyone's guess as to who that might actually come for. Campbell loses sight of the ball as it comes up to him, and Babu takes it from him, and then Sorensen feeds it into Castillo and into the middle of the park now. They drive forward. It's Castillo out to Gogorsa then, left hand side, coming in on that right foot, lays it back the way to Bravo for back, and now out to the left hand side for Castillo again. Some of the substitutes seen plenty of the ball in these early minutes on the park. Gogorsa once more trying to take on his man. He's done well, hits the byline. Francolino's here, but he's nodded it wide. Bashiri tracked his run, maybe did just enough to put him off, but it was another half chance at the very least for Midtjylland there. But it does remain Hibernian 0, Midtjylland 0.
It's a brilliant change of pace by the sub on the left hand side. Goes by O'Hora as if he's not there. Good ball in, header at the near post, but you're right, I think Bashiri just does enough to get on him.
Here's Iredale, plays it down the left to Obita, just helps it on and into Bowie. Bowie must be tiring, but he's won his side a free kick for the attentions of Lee. He's done so much good hold up play, Kieran Bowie, and it looks like he's going to have a major role to play for Hibs over the course of this season.
I still think though they're going to have to be careful with him, Alistair. He's had some poor injuries, and he's been brilliant tonight, but he looks absolutely knackered now.
Yeah, you're right. Absolute power of work tonight though, to be fair to him. He's had one chance and he's put it in the back of the net, obviously called offside. You'd think next 15 minutes David Gray, what kind of substitutions will we see? And Nicky Cadden obviously come on, who we know has been really effective for Hibs over the last season. Maybe a Junior Hoylett.
Yeah, I think Hoylett, honestly, with 15-20 to go, could be the difference.
We've got a guy on the bench there who's the record signing, over £1 million, who you'd have to imagine they're going to put some faith in at some stage. But here's Osorio for Midtjylland, up to the angle of the box on the right hand side, onto the left foot, deflected. Good stop from Smith, because that did take a deflection, and then Bashiri lashes it away. Bowie's been penalised on this occasion as Beck just got in front of him, and it's going to be a free kick to Midtjylland. But Osorio worked the space on that left foot, had the effort from the edge of the box, and it took a deflection on its way through, and good reactions from Smith to keep it out. 0-0.
Osorio's getting better as the game goes on. He's getting stronger, but great save by Smith, really was.
Hibs stump it clear, but they are playing a little bit more on the back foot again as this half wears on as well. I wonder if just that couple of extra games competitively that Midtjylland have had is beginning to help them. But here's Bowie. Oh, he's done brilliantly again. He pokes it away. He's brought to the ground. Play continues, but Boyle's up there completely on his own. I'm not sure how much of an advantage there actually is to Hibs here. Boyle does well to win the throw-in for Hibs. Bowie eventually picks himself up off the ground, but what a shift he's put in. It's just commendable stuff from him. Did really well there to keep possession and begin that attack, and perhaps the free kick would have been more welcome on the halfway line. But Hibs have a throw-in instead over on that far side, and O'Hara can get this into the box potentially from about 30 yards from the corner flag, so maybe that will work out to Hibs' advantage after all. We've got 16.5 minutes of the 90 left. Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0 here at Easter Road in the second leg of the Europa League second qualifying round. 1-1 on aggregate as O'Hara lines up the throw in here, and it comes into the penalty area. Iredale tries to get something on it. He might get the break of the ball there. It comes off back, but then I think maybe back off Iredale again. Yeah, the assistant referee's pointed for a goal kick, and I have to say, although we're a long way away from it, I think that is the correct decision on that occasion. Unfortunately for Hibs, it's a Midtjylland goal kick. Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0.
Right, Scott, 15 minutes to go. You've just started your coaching career. What do you do if you're David Gray? There's a question for you.
Under pressure. I'm sitting here nervous enough watching it. I think either Nicky Cadden or Junior Hoylett, not the two of them just now, but one of them. Obviously both guys who Ruben Oking.
Here's Gogorza into the penalty area, he teases it to the back post. Obita couldn't take any chances, heads it behind with Mbabu in close proximity, and it's going to be a Midtjylland corner. But Gogorza has made a good impact on that left-hand side, taking over from Sheem Shear.
The thing is, I think he'd be reluctant to take Bowie off because he does well in both boxes. Set plays, he's vital as well.
What about you, Hoylett and Cadden?
I would bring Hoylett on the wider area. I would take probably Bowie off in 5 minutes because he looks knackered, and I'd put Boyle through the middle. I think Hoylett could be a star. 15 to go.
And it comes away by McGrado from the corner and well out of the penalty area. And Midtjylland will try to start again. It's Osorio who had a deflected effort saved just a few minutes ago.
Mind, if you're paying £1 million for a player, you better bring him on as well. I forgot about that.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
And Babu into the area. Hibs struggling to get it fully clear. Levitt high up in the air. Campbell was surely fouled there. The referee keeps his whistle silent as Mbabu picks up right hand side. Obita's close to him down at the corner flag, goes back the way though to Sorensen. Left footy cross coming in, it's a good ball, good header though away. Again it was Kieran Bowie back there. That's incredible back there doing that defending, because that was a really vicious in-swinger. And there's going to be a free kick goes Midtjylland's way for a tug in the jersey there on the far side, but again it was Bowie winning it, and it's just been phenomenal for me.
It has been, and he's only going to get better, Alistair, as well. You know, the stronger he gets, the more game time he gets, the more confidence he gets, scoring goals, playing more games.
Still just 22.
Yeah.
Went down to Fulham as a very young man. Obviously they saw something in him, didn't quite work out for him. Midtjylland have won themselves a free kick in a good area to the right of centre, but only about 30 odd yards from goal, and certainly an opportunity here to put a dangerous ball into the box, and Kieran Bowie will be needed once more, perhaps back in his defensive role alongside the three actual centre backs, looking to keep Midtjylland at bay, because you would have to imagine a goal goes in now, it would be very difficult to salvage it and force extra time. But let's see how this transpires. We've got 13 minutes of the 90 remaining. It's Osorio and Gogorza over it here on the right hand side. The left foot of Osorio might be favourite, but Gogorza's right foot is also potent. In fact, it will be Gogorza to tease it in when it's headed away more or less from the penalty spot. I think it was McGrath that got to it, and it's going to be helped back in by Francolino. Up goes Boyle to win it above Mbabu. That was a good leap from the forward. Gogorza though picks it up, and Mbabu will get onto it right hand side. Back to Gogorza once more. Left footed cross comes in, it's not such a good one. Headed away by Iredale and then helped on by Boyle, but Hibs have got everyone back and no one upfield, and it's just going to come back at them. Here is a poor pass there by Osorio, just a very tired pass you would have to say, and straight out of play over on that far side. Throw into Hibs, and here come the changes for Hibernian. It is Nicky Cadden who is going to come on, as well as Ellie Yuan. He's getting the shout. Dylan Levitt is one of the players who's going to come off.
Bowie.
And Bowie as well,
Bowie's been absolutely outstanding. He's run himself into a standstill. He looks absolutely knackered, and Levitt's played his part as well. That holder in the middle of the park, allowing McGrath and Mulligan to get forward. He's the one that sat and controlled the play.
Well, you can hear the fans' appreciation there for the players coming off, and I think a lot of that was being directed at Kieran Bowie. I'm sure the Hibs fans are as appreciative of his efforts as we have been in commentary this evening, but when he did find the back of the net, it was chopped off, just as Francolino's effort was in the second half, and that's why it's still 0-0 with the minutes ticking down. We've got just over 11 left of the 90. Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0, 1-1 on aggregate. Hibs come forward down the right hand side, knocked into the middle. It's a poor clearance by Lee. Yuan almost able to charge it down, but Boyle just couldn't get the break of the ball there. That's a loose throw out, but Mbabu's won it, Hibs fans felt he fouled Obita there. I don't think it was, no. It was a fair 50-50 challenge that Mbabu came out on top of. The Hibs fans not happy. Obita's still down, but I don't think they've got a case. And forward come Midtjylland, left-hand side. It's Gagorsa cutting in on the right foot on the angle. Decent ball into the box. It comes all the way across the 6-yard box from Mbabu and eventually stabbed behind for a corner. The Hibs fans' voice of displeasure, but I don't think on this occasion they had a real case there for a free kick. And it will be a corner to Midtjylland instead.
It's a fair challenge, I really do. 50-50, the two of them go wholeheartedly for it. Nothing dirty, nothing malicious either player.
No malice in it. And obviously Obita caught out, obviously down on the floor. Well, that ball came in at the back post and Hibs didn't defend it well enough. Have to defend this corner now.
Corner kick then from the left-hand side, and that's Gagorsa who's going across there to take it, and it comes to the edge of the 6-yard box, won by Beck but saved on his line by Jordan Smith, who's he has had a good game, hasn't had any really difficult saves to make, you'd have to say, but he's had 4 or 5 ones that have definitely needed saving, and he's been equal to them all.
You've got to Iredale's got to overhit that pass, undercooks it.
Look at the space behind the centre half.
Going back to obviously Jordan Smith and some of the catches he's had from headers, it's interesting because yes, Midtjylland have won headers in the box, but because there's always pressure, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to win the ball, but they're doing enough just to, it doesn't allow them to generate any power in the finish.
There was a spell at the start of last season where Hibs were losing goal after goal from set plays. It doesn't seem to be the case.
Touch wood. Last 10 minutes as Mbabu has a throw in down near the corner flag, about 15 yards maybe away from it, and he's going to dry the ball off, which would suggest he's going to try and get a bit of distance on this and get it into the Hibs penalty area. Mbabu then from the right hand side, and it comes towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's a Hibs head, Josh Campbell, that gets to it and then fired over the top rashly from Gagorsa. Again, they've a little bit like Panathinaikos last night, they've had some opportunities, but their finishing's been pretty woeful, apart from when Francolino slotted in from an offside position.
Yeah, it's one of the ones though, as a midfielder, it falls to you at that kind of height at the edge of the box, your eyes light up. You've scored the goals in your head millions of times, but trying to execute them isn't as easy as it looks. But for me, listen, I think Hibs will be relatively happy getting into the last 12 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, obviously with injury time. Obviously hoping the substitution come on, can have an impact on the game.
Alan's just brought up the match stats, and I have to say I find that quite remarkable. What is it, 18 shots to 6 in favour of Midtjylland and 7 on target to Hibs 2. I mean, that doesn't really reflect what I feel like I'm seeing out there, but the stats rarely lie, and Midtjylland have got themselves another corner, and just getting the sense that if any team's going to win this in the 90, it might be the Danes. Just the pressure they're putting on the Hibs back line in this last period. It's going to be another corner from Gagorsa, left hand side into the near post this time. Smith dealt with that again, and the pressure relieved on that Hibs back line. We've got just over 7 minutes left in the 90, and here's Yuan taking the ball down. Yeah, it's a really good touch. Campbell's up in support. Can Yuan find him? Still Yuan into the box. Yeah, it's going to be a goal kick. Comes off Yuan last again. It's just a bit decision making in the final third. Campbell had burst a gut to get up there in support with him, and Yuan just didn't get the head up after a really good bit of control, getting himself into a good position, but couldn't pick a teammate out.
It's the most important bit though. You obviously get into that area, and again it's just that final bit of quality. It's let Hibs down in the final third.
Into the final third come Midtjylland through Gagorsa, who's been lively as a substitute, coming in off that left hand side onto his right foot. Sorensen into Castillo, and now back with Gagorsa, tries to find an opening once more. He's gone for goal, and that's just wide. Jordan Smith down to his left post, and he might have had it covered, but almost sneaked in at that bottom corner. And Gagorsa so close to the opening goal, but with just over 6 to play, it's still Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0.
I think taking Shamshir off, it's been diluting the team. It's certainly not. He's been great since he's come on. But again, there's the Hibs fans getting right behind their team, try to see them through here.
Yeah, the atmosphere's been terrific inside Easter Road. The biggest crowd, Hibs were saying, since the redevelopment of the stand opposite. As Midtjylland and Lee just pump the ball forward rather aimlessly. That'll suit Hibs fine, because that allows Jordan Smith to come out to the edge of his area and just gather and settle and try and mount another attack for themselves. Smith then, left-footed, launches it long. 85 on the clock as Castillo heads it back the way to Mbabu. Mbabu turns back towards his own goal, a little hesitantly. Plays it to Lee. Lee just outside his own penalty area. Little dummy there and decoy, and it takes Martin Boyle out of the game. And now Obita gets back to prevent Osorio bringing it under control. Out for a throw-in in this near side, the Midtjylland right. There's a ball knocked onto the park there, so Mbabu can't take the quick throw-in. And now he's just been waved back a few yards by the referee. Throws it back to Lee just inside his own half. 0-0, 1-1 on aggregate. Can these sides be separated in the 90? Or are we looking at an extra 30 as Osorio tries to find Francolino with a 1-2, but instead Bashiri, and now there could be a counter on Campbell. Again, he just couldn't get the ball out to the right hand side. Boyle had made the run, but so too did Nicky Cadden on that right hand side, and Campbell couldn't release him. And now it's Midtjylland coming forward once more, and it's Gogorza again, dangerous from that left hand side into the feet of Francolino. Poor first touch, but a better second. Then did he slip, or was he fouled? The referee says the latter, and Midtjylland are going to have a free kick about 25 yards from goal, maybe just slightly more than that, almost from the same position, you would have to say, as Shimshir scored from last week. He's off the park, so let's see who's their substitute free kick taker is from this kind of distance. You wouldn't be surprised if it was Gogorza who's come on for him. Actually, the referee's pulling that back a little bit further. It's nearer 30 yards from goal now, so maybe a little bit too far out for a direct hit, but we shall see. The dying minutes might be worth a crack.
I think it's set up for Rosario on his left foot. You're right, Al. You're 30 yards. It's a long way out.
Well, it's just slightly left of centre, but Osorio definitely looks like he fancies this. Gogorza is over it as well on the right footer, but Jordan Smith just trying to line his wall up right on the edge of the penalty area. Seems happy with it. There's 5 men in it there. There's Midtjylland with a late chance to strike the winning goal. It is Osorio straight into the wall. Can Hibs get it properly clear? Yes, they can. Obita just turns, fires it over the halfway line, and that means Hibs can try and get out here. I think David Gray would probably want them further out than they have come, but it's shelled back in towards the edge of the penalty area. Obita on the right foot plays it higher than any great distance on it. There's a shove there by Sorensen, and that gives Hibs the free kick just outside their own penalty area. We've got 2.5 minutes left of the 90 here, and it's still Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0. 19,536 inside Easter Road. They have witnessed a fabulous game, and they might be about to get an extra half hour for their money here tonight, unless either side can find a late winner, as Jordan Smith prepares to take the free kick and just outside his box, launches it long. Beck though sees it all the way and heads it back to the halfway line. Iredale returns it up looking for Boyle. Lee gets there before him. Sorensen helps it on. The flag's up against Boyle though, and it will go back for the free kick to Midtjylland.
They don't have that physical presence anymore up front, but what they've got is electric pace with Boyle. If Midtjylland creep up, defend higher up the park, Boyle can get slipped through. But as I said to Scott at the start, I think it was going to be a long night.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. I think just taking it back to before the free kick and that chance, obviously the ball works its way into Josh Campbell. If he just has that pitch up, Nicky Cadden made a fantastic run, and they're out the other side, and they're give themselves a right chance to go and create something, and instead they lose the ball and put themselves under pressure. What we spoke about.
Under pressure here as Back gets into the box. Oh, it's a good ball across goal, and Francolino just on his heels as Iredale sticks it behind for a corner. Couldn't take any risks, but it's another fabulous ball across goal from Back. But another corner to defend here as we head into the final minute of the 90. Thomas Berg, the Midtjylland manager, down there urging his side on in this final few seconds of the regulation time. Can they find a late sickening winner to put themselves through to the third qualifying round? Gagorsa's corner's an outswinger this time. Beck trying to get something on it, but he couldn't get any purchase on it. Smith's able to dive on it, and it remains Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0 with just seconds left in the 90. Fourth official poised to show us the added on time board as Obita plays it down the left channel. One for Yuan to chase, and Babu looks favourite. Yuan putting him under pressure though. There's a handball there. The Hibs fans certainly thought so. The referee thought about it, then he gives it. Took a good 2 or 3 seconds to decide that, and Hibs have got a free kick in a pretty tasty position here out on the left hand side.
I think that was the crowd that won that.
It certainly seemed like it, wasn't it? 4 minutes to be added on now. We're just into that.
There we go, got real delivery now. Cadden's on with his left foot. Got a chance, McGrath's on with his right. The way Cadden crosses it, it would be Cadden for me.
I think Cadden take it away from the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper's obviously come out and collected quite a lot from the set-piece situations tonight.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
What a chance.
In injury time then, Hibs looking for a late winner to take them through in Europe. McGrath over this one as well, left hand side, just a couple of yards in from the touchline, but 15 yards it is. Sent in by McGrath, it's hit high up in the air by Mbabu. Nicky Cadden wins the second ball just outside the area, but Midtjylland have dealt with it and will now try and counter themselves. It's Francolino. Boyle's backpedaling. Francolino tried to play with the outside of his boot to find Gagorsa, but it's all the way through to Jordan Smith.
No real conviction in the cross from McGrath.
Oh wow. Yuan, beautiful little back heel to get away from the first man. Helped on by Campbell. Boyle's miles offside. He's going to take this in. He's going to square it. It's going to be rolled into the net, but it's not going to stand. I think we can say with some conviction that goal is definitely not going to be.
It'll be checked.
Yeah, it will be checked.
The keeper's trying to take it quick.
But Boyle looked. I just wonder, could Boyle have had the quickness of mind to just leave that, because I think there was another runner coming through, maybe Campbell, who might have been coming from an onside position, but the goal is chopped off as we knew it was going to be.
Yeah. It was Eliun, wasn't it? Eliun was. Martin obviously knows, he should know that he's in an offside position, obviously the experienced player that he is. Eliun runs onto it, gets into the same angle.
Here's Lee just chipping it forward, looking for Osorio. Difficult ball to control. Did that come off Obita? Yeah, it did.
I think the
Good
goals
play from Osorio.
I think the goal from Bowie in the first half and Midtjylland in the second, they were tight.
Yeah.
That one was as clear as can be.
Yeah, I think we were able to call that one pretty firmly and quickly. But it's more defending for Hibs to do then. In the 3rd minute of added on time, corner kick from the right hand side. In from Osorio. It's a Hibs head that wins it at the near post. It was Nicky Cadden. It's come back out to Osorio from back. Osorio plays it back to back. Clips it into the box. Away by McGrath. Up to the centre circle. Hibs still lying deep. They certainly do not want to lose this as late as this. Probably more important not to lose it now than it is to go and chase a winner. As the ball's played back up to the edge of the penalty area. Flicked on by Lee, but it won't be caught by Gagorsa, and it's going to be out on that far side for a throw-in, and we are heading inexorably towards extra time. We've got a minute of added on time left to play here at Easter Road. 0-0 between Hibs and Midtjylland, 1-1 on aggregate, and looks like it's going to take another half hour to separate them. Jamie McGrath given the sponsors man of the match, but I don't think anyone up here agrees with him.
For me.
Yeah.
Wasn't even a question, was it?
Nah, it wasn't close.
McGrath's done well, but I just think Bowie's been a standout.
Out it goes to the right hand side, out for a throw in to Hibs. Looks like pretty much everyone has settled for another half an hour. Extra time to split these two. We'll stick with this game, of course. We'll be on air until it's come to a conclusion, regardless of whether that's extra time or indeed penalties, as Nicky Cadden gives chase down that right hand side, looking to put pressure on, but he's given away the free kick deep in Midtjylland territory, and that will pretty much be that. The referee wants a free kick taken again. It's pretty much immaterial. In fact, there he blows his full-time whistle, bringing an end to the 90 minutes, but not an end to the game, because we are still level as we started this contest. 0-0 on the night, 1-1 on aggregate, a goal apiece. In fact, 2 goals for Hibs chopped off in the end, albeit when Nicky Cadden rolled the second one in, there was never any doubt that that was going to be. The other calls for against Kieran Bowie and Francolino were altogether tighter, but both chopped off in the end. Both sides have had further chances. Midtjylland, you would probably argue, looked the more likely to go and win it in the 90 minutes, particularly towards the end of the 90 minutes, but they couldn't find a way past Jordan Smith. And so we've got another half an hour on our hands here at the very least, because at full time in the 90 minutes it is Hibernian 0, Midtjylland 0, still 1-1 on aggregate.
Hibernian in the Europa League qualifiers.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Well, still nothing to separate Hibernian from Midtjylland of Denmark after the 2 legs, 180 plus minutes, and we're into extra time. The Hibs players in a huddle around their head coach David Gray, who is giving the instructions. The hand gestures are going, the drinks are being taken on. A massive 30 minutes plus potentially penalties ahead, and we've had no goals that have stood anyway at Easter Road, but it's been one of those nights where you just been unable to take your ear or eye from the action, and it's been atmosphere at Easter Road has been crackling through. The guys' superb coverage, and Hibs still in it, still in with a big shout of getting through in the Europa League. Lots of work to do in this final 30 minutes. Midtjylland as well, taking on fluids and instructions. And will we get a winner before spot kicks? Brilliant game. And Alan Preston, you predicted it. You did think we might be going the distance.
Yeah, it's been a really good, for a 0-0, it's been a really good game. You know, for 3 disallowed goals, there have been chances. Keepers have done well at set plays, they've been assured at the back. And it's going to go either way, it really is. It's 2 very evenly matched teams. It might come down to a mistake through tiredness because they've not played a lot of games. But it's a tough one to call, it really is. And you hope, for the coefficient in Scotland and Hibs' sake, it's them that get the winner. But Midtjylland have been the better side in the second half. Hibs have been counter-attacking, but just not getting the right final pass, the final cross, the final ball into the box has been poor. But they're still in this game. Half an hour to go. Got to dig deep. They've still got substitutes that can play their part and come on and win this game for Hibs. But they've been excellent. Both teams deserve credit because I've really enjoyed it for a 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely. And the captain's just speaking to the officials there, Scott Allen, before we get back into extra time. I wonder how big a part the Easter Road crowd will play here, just to help these tired legs, these tired players.
Yeah, a huge part. Listen, I think they've been very vocal tonight. You can see it re-energised the players, certainly after Midtjylland thought they'd taken the lead. Listen, there's no, you can see the work the boys have put in. I think at this stage of the game, take less risk. I'm looking at Hibs, I still think they carry that threat on the counter-attack, but the frustrating thing, I think, probably for Dave Gray and his coaching staff, when they have get into the areas where they can really hurt Midtjylland, it's that finesse you spoke about at half-time, and that decision-making that me and Alan spoke about. They just haven't chose the right option, and it was the same in the second half, obviously, the away leg, so it just takes one moment of brilliance. So obviously Nicky Cadden came on, gives them that benefit from set-piece situations. So listen, it's anybody's game now from what I can see.
Yeah, the fans are ready, the players are ready, and so is Alistair Lamont.
Well, you say that, just about ready.
You need a second.
Francolino gets us back underway, and still we await the first goal of the evening, somewhat remarkably. Francolino picks up possession at the edge of the box, evades one challenge, not the second, and Hibs pick up possession and then work it clear. Just wonder about Nicky Cadden playing out on this right-hand side. I'm not sure it massively suits him.
No, I get that, but I think now my worry, if I'm David Gray, is having somebody in front of Mulligan, because he's not a natural. He'll play there, but he's not, as where a beater's fine on the other side. Plus, if Cadden's in front of a beater, it's going to stop a beater from getting forward.
Yeah.
I think you've got to look at the qualities he does possess, though. He's maybe thinking, can we get Nicky Cadden higher up the foot? If he gets a half yard inside, we know he obviously has that quality on his left foot, maybe get the shot away. Obviously with Kieran Bowie going off, they don't quite have that same physical presence from cross balls.
Here's Gagorsa getting to the byline, into the penalty area it comes. Francolino trying to make something of it, closed down, but he does get the pass off to Castillo. Castillo back to Bravo, tries to just toe poke it at a goal. It's blocked. Hibs putting bodies on the line, as they have often had to do, and it's out on his near side.
And you can see the defensive frailties that Mulligan's got in that area. Gagorsa goes right by him as if he's not there. So he's going to have to get protection from Cadden.
You've got to give huge credit to the three centre-backs. They've defended that 6-yard box at times so well tonight. Getting their head on things, getting clearances, doing just enough to get blocks on shots, not allowing Midtjylland to get a space to find their corners. Done really well, the three of them.
Throw into Hibs then, deep in their own half. Warner Hora throws it down the line. Cadden can't make anything of it. Beck into the feet of Castillo, looks for the 1-2, but Gagorsa can't find him, and then McGrath feeds a lovely ball forward for Boyle. Boyle down that right hand side, looks up, he's got three in the middle making their way into the penalty. It's going to come all the way across for Campbell. He nudges it back to Yuan. Yuan comes in field. Obita made a run ahead of him. He used him as a decoy. Here's Yuan onto the right foot. Can he find the shot? Still Yuan onto the left foot now. Obita still available. Yuan wants to do it all himself. He plays it off in Babu and he'll take the corner. Hibs 0, Midtjylland 0. 2 minutes of extra time gone.
Frustrate me. He would really frustrate me, Eli Yuan. He's got all the ability, but then you think he beats a man. Play the ball into the box. He's got runners. He's got people wider than him. What he tries to do is turn them again and turn them again. And that's frustrating for strikers because they'll make the run and he doesn't deliver.
Well, Yuan, he missed so much of last season. His only appearance after December was against Celtic in the Scottish Cup in March. This is only his second appearance then in 2025, as Hibs have the corner from the left hand side. The keeper hasn't got too much on it. Comes to Mulligan at the edge of the box. He's smothered though before he can really get the shot away, but he's picked up possession once more. Right hand side, lays it back to Campbell. His cross is partially blocked, comes back to him, but he can't bring it under control. And here's Gagorsa, who has looked impressive since coming on, and moves over the halfway line. His pass forward is blocked, but comes to Sorensen, and now it's Osorio on the halfway line. Left hand side into Castillo. Castillo out to the left hand side to Gagorsa once more. Picks up possession and brings it in from the left. Good pass forward for Sorensen into the box, left hand side. Comes off O'Hara and then helped on by Campbell, but Hibs' use of the ball needs to be better just at the moment. They're inviting pressure, and it's going to come in the shape of Gagorsa into Castillo, who lays it back to Osorio, central area, 30 yards from goal. What a goal! Oh, what a hit that is from Osorio. He's threatened a couple of times from distance, and he was allowed to shoot on that occasion, the 21-year-old Chilean. And after 4 minutes of extra time at Easter Road, he has at last broken the deadlock with a goal of sheer quality from at least 25 yards. Arrowed it past Jordan Smith. It is Hibs 0, Midtjylland 1, 2-1 in aggregate.
It's an incredible finish from Osorio. Unleashes that left foot right into the far corner. But from a Hibs point of view, you can tell the fatigue's kicking in. There's space now becoming more open round the edge of the box, and nobody gets out to the shot. But you can't take nothing away from the finish. It's top draw, and Hibs now need to find something to get back in this game.
That's a wonderful strike. It's actually beyond Smith before he dives. It hits the back of the net and comes back out. What a hit.
It was like
that is absolute no chance.
It was like one step with no backlift, wasn't it?
It hits it really early. I think David Gray's got to look at his bench now, start to throw people on. Junior Hoylett, as I said, I think he might have should have been on already, but they're going to have to get right back in this game, Hibs. The start of this extra time, it has been all Midtjylland, to be honest.
Yeah, and just having said that Hibs are going to take more care of the ball, it was a loose pass that came to Osorio. They weren't able to close him down, as Scott said. The legs are just tiring that bit, and it's taking a bit longer to close down. And it just allowed Osorio the time and space that he needed to arrow that ball past the goalkeeper and give Midtjylland the breakthrough. And they've got a free kick here for a little clip on Sorensen just inside his own half. 5.5 minutes of extra time played. Midtjylland at last have a breakthrough in the tie. 2-1 they lead on aggregate, 1-0 on the night. Dario Osorio's first goal of the season.
I think where Johan's playing, I would play Hoylett out there. I bring Johan over to the right. I take a beat off, put Cadden over to that side, and bring Hoylett on.
Yeah, that all makes a lot of sense from what we're seeing in front of us as O'Hara guides it back to Smith. Takes a slightly awkward touch back to his own goal, but does get it clear.
He done really well in the end.
It's about half a yard from his own lines.
Here's Nicky Cadden, brings it down on his chest, right hand side. Outside of him is Mulligan, but Cadden comes inside and he's going to go for goal himself. Takes a deflection, it's just wide. Hibs corner, but Nicky Cadden looking to replicate what Dario Osorio just did for Midtjylland, and unfortunately for him it took a slight deflection with just to get wide of the near post, and it's still Hibs 0, Midtjylland 1.
Nothing else in his mind there. As soon as he created that space, he let fly. Corner to Hibs.
And that's exactly why he's playing in that position. As the corner is about to be sent in by Cadden from the right hand side towards the back post. It's won by Hibs head, but it's sent wide of the target. Is it Jamie McGrath who arrives at the back post and wins that one, but he couldn't arrow it on target, and we are going to see the introduction of Junior Hoylett. Iredale's the one who comes off, but you do imagine that's just going to be Obita into left centre back, Cadden across to left wing back, and as you say, Hoylett across in this right hand side of the attack. 7.5 minutes gone midway through this first period of extra time. Hibs trailing now by a goal to nil and 2-1 on aggregate after that wonderful Dario Osorio hit, and Obita's been penalised for being overly physical there on Francolino, and a free kick goes the way of Midtjylland 10 yards inside the Hibs half. Hibs won't be giving this one up easily. They've been well in the tie throughout, and he just needs to find something special in the closing stages. Try and force at worst penalties, as Beck gets it to Back, and then Back gives it back to Beck.
4-4-4, he's 5-5.
Played forward by goalkeeper Jonas Lossel. Second ball's picked up by Midtjylland, and Babu slices it in the air, but it's going to come back for a free kick that was awarded. Yeah, Johan just caught the Midtjylland player on the halfway line, and the referee brings it back, awards that free kick, and Midtjylland of course now in no great rush to get on with things. The player just taking his time to get up here.
Surely now you bring on the striker, a £1 million striker. Your final change has to be.
I've seen him going back into the bench there, taking his bib off. Martin Boyle's been worked tirelessly tonight as well.
Lee has it on the halfway line, gets it back from Bravo, and then goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. 9 minutes of extra time played. Hibs 0, Midtjylland 1. 2-1 on aggregate to the Danes, as they look to book their place in the next round against Fredrikstad of Norway. The losers will definitely face Partizan Belgrade, which doesn't sound like a particularly easy tie. I'm not honestly sure of quite how good or otherwise Partizan Belgrade are these days, but certainly they're one of these names that every football fan knows in terms of their European history. As Lee has it at the back and plays out to Mbabu right hand side. Can't get past Cadden, but does get the break of the ball, and it comes to the goal scorer Osorio, and I think that just came off Yuan there, and out for a goal kick to Midtjylland. And here comes the change then. It's Thibaut Clige to replace Martin Boyle for the closing 20 minutes of the game. And the referee's signalling to Martin Boyle, who'd gone off to try and resume the game quickly. He'd gone off without giving the armband to anyone. And on comes Clige then. Made his debut late on in the first leg. Oh, what a hero he could make himself if he can find the goal in the closing stages here that would salvage something from the tie for Hibernian, as Lee hammers it forward. One for Castillo to chase, but he won't get there ahead of Jordan Smith, who comes out to the edge of his area and immediately bowls it to Nicky Cadden, who comes forward down the left hand side. Then he clips it forward looking for Yuan. Yuan will just let that run out off from Babu for a corner, and Hibs will throw everyone forward for this one, looking to try and get a goal back, getting back on level terms before half time and extra time. Corner kick then to be taken over on that left hand side. Hibs have got just about everyone inside the penalty area. Bita's the furthest outfield player back, and he's midway inside the Midtjylland half, and it comes to the edge of the 6-yard box. Up goes Bashiri, good save from Lossell. Bashiri met it well, but he just didn't get enough direction or power on it. Beck's gone down holding his head. The boos from the home fans. It's always difficult to judge whether at times like these it's a genuine head injury or whether he's just playing for time, but the referee can certainly take no chances. He's got to allow the treatment to the player. With 3 minutes left of the first half of extra time, it is still Hibernian 0, Midtjylland 1.
Yeah, you hope that the fresh legs that have come on for Hibs and the forward area certainly play their part in the second period of extra time. It's a decent ball in. Bashiri gets a good header on it. He's unfortunate, it's straight at the keeper. But what this does, this break gives the Midtjylland players a chance to come right over, get some fluids on, albeit there's only a couple of minutes left for the break, but gives them an opportunity to take some well-earned fluids.
Beck being asked to leave the field of play, having had that treatment. So Midtjylland momentarily down to 10 as the drop ball is just given to the goalkeeper, Jonas Lossell, whose clean sheet remains intact for the first time this season. He's already conceded 6 in his 3 games prior to tonight. Referee telling him to get on with it. That 8 seconds rule coming into effect as Bashiri gets his head to the clearance, and Jordan Smith will get there just before it runs out of his penalty area, and will again try and get the game going as quickly as possible. We've played 103 minutes at Easter Road as Cadden tries to get down the left. Semi stopped by the goal scorer Osorio. Back with Obita, plays it into Bashiri. He'll be closed down there by Castillo. Still Bashiri though has it in his possession. Warner Hora now, midway inside his own half, into McGrath, out to the right hand side for Mulligan. Mulligan looking for options as he crosses the halfway line. Just stands on it, leaves it to Hoylett. Hoylett plays it infield, sensible ball to Campbell. Campbell looks up, tries to get it out to the left hand side, but Mbabu easily able to cut that out. It wasn't a good ball from Campbell at all. Back goes Yuan. Yuan tries to stop Mbabu, but he's still going. Mbabu, he's away from him and now up against Obita. He's made some good ground here. He'll just take it to the corner flag and try and keep a hold of it down there for as long as possible. Plays it off Obita and wins a corner. Really good play from Kevin Mbabu, you'd have to say, and winning his side a corner deep into the first half of extra time. Just 45 seconds or thereabouts left in this first period. I'm not sure if we'll have any additional time. The fourth official does have a board ready to show as Midtjylland prepare to take the corner kick from the right hand side.
They're taking this shot.
Yeah, they have done that. And it's Gogorsa getting it from Osorio. Gogorsa hits the byline and goes back to the goal scorer Osorio, who'll clip it into the area, headed away by Clige. Only as Fardo is back, and then Castillo plays it to Bravo, and then Osorio could have gone back to his goalkeeper, but instead holds on to possession, then lifts it into the Hibs penalty. Out comes Smith, takes that about 15 yards from goal, and there's going to be 3 minutes added on actually at the end of this first period. Was McGrath caught there by Beck? Yes, he was, and that is going to be a card. It's a yellow card. So the referee clearly doesn't feel it was an elbow, but certainly it was an arm that went up to impede Jamie McGrath. It's a free kick on the halfway line, a yellow card for the Danish captain, and into those 3 minutes of added on time at the end of this first period of extra time. 1-0 Midtjylland lead on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. They, as things stand, are heading into the third qualifying round of the Europa League. leaving Hibs to drop into the third qualifying round of the Conference League. Here's McGrath to take the free kick, arrows it out to the far side of the penalty area. It's one, and then Clige knocks it down. Comes to Yuan on the edge of the box. Can he find room for the shot? Tries to get onto his left foot. Across goal, it comes, it's in! Bashiri has drawn Hibs level in stoppage time at the end of the first half of extra time, and he slides on his knees in front of the dugout to take the adulation of the Hibs management team and the fans all around the stadium. It is Hibernian 1, Midtjylland 1.
Brilliant, wonderful finish by Bashiri. Great play from Eli Yuhan. We said the subs in the forward areas of the pitch for Hibs could make the difference. Yuhan certainly there. Gets it at the edge of the box, ends up at the byline, whips it across, and there's Bashiri to absolutely smash it home. 1-1. Game on again.
It was a Junior Hoylett who just takes that bit of composure in the box and brings it down to the chest and finds the pass. Especially in that moment where it's dead easy to try and do a snapshot. And it works out to Eli Yuhan. Fantastic from Eli Yuhan. The first bit of spark that's kept the life in him in this game. And Rocky Bashiri again with a massive goal for him.
Well, what it does is it just gets the fans back on side, gets them back into the game.
Brilliant stuff. And that has reignited this match. The Hibs support absolutely elated. And Rocky Bashiri, who at one stage you wonder if he had what it took to be a Hibs player, well, he has brought them back on level terms as Midtjylland try and strike themselves again in stoppage time at the end of this first period. One apiece. It stands. Obita gets his head to the ball, comes out to Mbabu, right hand side, sends it back in. Header comes in from Castillo. It's over the top, and it looks like we will head into half time. The scores one apiece. Rocky Bashiri, first goal of the season. He only scored his first ever career goal last season, ended up with 4. But let's say, Alan, he's gone from a guy who a lot of the Hibs fans didn't really fancy, and you could understand why. And now he's an absolute hero here.
I think you've got to say he's probably the most improved defender the second half of last season. It was terrific. He was a mainstay for Hibs. Just as that's the end of the first period of extra time. Listen to the fans now, they're playing their part. They know that they've got to cheer their team on. They've got to get right behind them for this final 50 minutes. It's there again. But I touched on that. This is going to go all the way unless someone turns out to be a proper hero here.
Well, that's a massive moment though in stoppage time at the end of the first half. The players just get a very brief rest here at half time, but absolutely vital that Hibs got themselves back in level terms as quickly as they did there, Scott.
Yeah, it really was. I think you're looking at them, I think they look tired, the fatigue. I think the substitutions definitely made an impact. So that bit of moment of magic there from Eli Yuhan, freeing himself up. I think 2-3 Midtjylland players round about him. He hits the byline, plays a fantastic ball across, and there's Bashiri. Bashiri obviously up in that area again. And listen, I think you'll always remember that goal he scored against Aberdeen the last minute. That is a huge goal for Hibs. But you think now all the focus on that Hibs, all the energy for the fans, you'd like them to go out and have a real go at this because it is there for them. Midtjylland now need to lift themselves again. It's been a fantastic game of football.
Yeah, but just when you thought it was getting away from Hibs, they have risen again, and Rocky Bashiri, the man to draw them level, and you saw the absolute joy on his face as he celebrated. You see what it means to him, just as much as it means to these Hibs supporters round about us, and it has breathed fresh life into the tie as far as Hibs are concerned. And so we've got another 15 minutes ahead of us. Who knows what that will bring, and there's every chance that penalties could follow. So it'll be Hibs going from right to left in the second half of extra time to get us back underway. And what an atmosphere around the Easter Road this evening. A special night, and it could become a magical one if Hibs can find a second goal and win this tie altogether. Brumado is coming on for Midtjylland, as is Chilusya. Not entirely sure who went off. I wonder if Francolino's still there, but there's certainly two forward-thinking players that have come on. I think Osorio, the goal scorer, has made way. But we're just about ready then to kick off once more with those two changes made by the visitors to try and re-energise them. And off we go once more, all the way back to Smith. And he launches it. Two Hibs players challenging for the same ball. Cleege and Campbell. That meant there was no one there to get the knockdown, and Midtjylland able to clear their lines. There's the substitute. Brumado getting involved. Back it goes to Lossell, the goalkeeper. Clips it out to the left-hand side for back up to the halfway line, plays it into Francolino. Good touch from him, tries to move away there from McGrath, who clips his heels, and that's going to be a card for absolute certain.
Yeah, it's a good foul. It's a good foul. Babu's free on the opposite side.
And Francolino helped back to his feet, didn't appreciate the challenge from Jamie McGrath. One of those professional fouls that you so often see to end the promising attack, which is why McGrath goes into the book. Midtjylland have it at the back through Lee, just a few yards inside the Hibs half. Turns back the way though to his goalkeeper, who promptly plays it to Beck, brings it up again to the halfway line. The left-footed defender fires it out looking for Mbabu, who's put too much on it, much of the Hibs fans' delight, and Mbabu succeeds only in heading it out of play. It'll be a Hibs throw-in midway inside their own half, left-hand side, and that'll be taken by Obita. And certainly, if Hibs were to go on and lose this game, there'd be absolutely no disgrace, but having come this far, having pushed the team of Midtjylland as far as they have, they desperately want to go on and see it out and get that victory and get themselves into the third qualifying round of the Europa League, as Hibs pick up a loose ball in the middle of the park. Campbell gets it.
Great touch.
Yeah, it was a really good touch. And foul there by Megwa, who on Megwa, who I must admit I hadn't noticed it come on. I actually thought Hibs had run out of substitutes to make, so
an extra one, an extra time.
Yeah, but even at that I thought they had used all their bit anyway. Just losing count. So free kick to Hibs, 15 yards or so inside their own half, to be taken by Obita. He launches it up towards the edge of the penalty area. It's going to come all the way through to Hoylett. Hoylett hoists it in, looking for Bashiri once more. You can't quite get onto it. Mbabu heads out of the penalty area. It's picked up by Yuan, who created that equaliser. Left-hand side, almost beats himself there, but manages to poke it back to Megwa, curls it in. Oh, it's just too high for Bashiri. It was a wonderful looking ball, but just had maybe 6 inches too much elevation for Bashiri. Otherwise he might have been nodding in his second of the night. As it is, 3 minutes into the second half of extra time, it's Hibs 1, Midtjylland 1, 2-2 in aggregate.
It must be Nicky Cadden with an injury, must have come off. Megwa going on there to play. He's a right back but can play left back. He was out with Airdrie for a spell.
Yeah,
young full back, Thistle as well.
Season, yeah, he was terrific at Airdrie a couple of seasons back in their push to the playoffs. I thought maybe just didn't kick on quite as much as he'd have wanted to at Thistle last season, but maybe there's a way for him to make an impression here at Hibs this season. Certainly got the talent, as Midtjylland come forward down the left-hand side, and it's Gogorsa coming in off that left. Out to the right he goes to Mbabu. Mbabu up at the edge of the penalty area, curls it into the penalty area. O'Hara heads it out, and Sorensen plays it out to the left-hand side to Castillo. Midway inside the Hibs half, left-hand side, up against Hoylett. Goes back the way to Sorensen. Sorensen, the midfielder, brings it forward and then plays it back the way to Lee. Lee square to Beck, to his left, 10 yards inside the Hibs half. Patient stuff this from Midtjylland. 4 minutes of added on time. Goes back, cuts it back, and behind Castillo, and Hibs get it clear, but back since he's come on, he's got himself into some really good positions, and on that occasion he just couldn't pick out a teammate, otherwise Hibs could have been in trouble.
I think the subs from both sides have played their part. They've been excellent. Forward thinking areas. Johan for Hibs. There's a chance again. Another corner.
Yeah, another corner conceded by Hibernian over on the far side, the Midtjylland left, and that will allow Gogorsa to go across and swing another one in with the right foot, an in-swinger. 10 minutes to play of extra time. All square, 2-2 on aggregate. 1-1 tonight as it was in the first leg. We're into the latter stages of extra time as Midtjylland pack the 6-yard box and the ball swung in. Beck's trying to get there. Lee's there as well. Hoylett couldn't get it clear, but Juan's managed to.
Here's
Clige can't get the ball back to Juan. Just couldn't get out from under his feet, and Midtjylland have won it back, and then Clige makes a decent challenge. I thought he actually had fouled his man, but the referee was on the spot, and Hibs come forward, and it's Juan who's offside. Yeah, the flag goes up. Usually you would expect play to be allowed to continue, but the assistant on that occasion deciding he was certain in his mind that Juan was off. But just moments before that, Scott, if Clige had been able to get it out from under his feet and get the pass off to Juan, he was away.
Yeah, he's got to do better. He's got to know what's about him. Didn't have the awareness, didn't have the head up. And it's about the 4th or 5th time in this game where the same things happened in that centre area of the park, and it's the difference between getting a shock goal or putting yourself under pressure at the back. It's going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Obviously new at the club, still finding his feet, but you'd expect a lot better in that position.
You know what it's like, Scott, you come off the bench, first game of the season, your lungs are burning.
Been there. I used to hate it.
It's Midtjylland in possession. 6.5 minutes of the second half of extra time played. Castillo's effort from the edge of the box is blocked by Obita, who's turned in another impressive performance at the back for Hibs, and it's rolled out for a goal kick. And I'm sure David Gray's thoughts are turning to potential penalty takers down there, as the prospect of spot kicks to decide this one looms ever larger. Jordan Smith preparing to take the goal kick here. 8 minutes of the game to play, plus added on time. The time running out for a winner. Smith smashes it over the halfway line. It's won by Campbell. Second ball won by Midtjylland, and then picked up in the midfield by Castillo, crossing the halfway line. Powerful, really powerful run. And Campbell, like McGrath before him, just brings him to the turf. A despairing sliding lunge, and it's a poor challenge really from Josh Campbell, and deservedly goes into the referee's notebook, and he also gives Midtjylland a free kick in a pretty decent area, midway inside the Hibs half, central area, but a chance here to put it into the box for the visitors.
Brilliant run by Castillo again, really powerful, gets turned and he's away from Campbell, who has to bring him down. Easy yellow card for the referee.
7 minutes remaining. Hibs 1, Midtjylland 1 on the night. 2-2 on aggregate. A place in the third qualifying round of the Europa League up for grabs here for the winners. As Sorensen and Gogorsa stand over the free kick, preparing to play it into the box. It's Gogorsa who teases it in towards the back post. Lee wins it, can't arrow it towards goal, and then it was the substitute Chilufya who tried to angle it on target, but he could only play it high in the air, and that allowed Smith to dive on it, and it remains Hibernian 1, Midtjylland 1, with about 6.5 minutes remaining. Launched over the halfway line again by Smith. Up goes Hoylett, doesn't win it, but it breaks for McGrath. Now it comes to Juan in the middle of the park, away from the challenger Brumado. Checks back inside. McGrath gets the short pass from Juan and into Campbell. Now it's Hoylett with his back to goal. Coming back the way, plays it to Obita on the halfway line. Hugging the touchline out here on the left-hand side is Megwa, but Obita eventually plays it to him about 15 yards from the byline. He can't get the better there of Chilufya, and it's going to be a throw into Hibs to be taken by Jordan Obita. He might fancy throwing this one long as Bashiri and O'Hara make their way forward. So O'Hara just signalling to Mulligan just to hang back. Megwa also reverses, and David Gray just tells him exactly where he wants him to sit as Obita hurls it into the penalty area. Out comes Losso. It's a good take from the goalkeeper. Came a long way, had to get that, and he did do, the towering goalkeeper. And it's still one apiece with just over 5 to play as Losso launches it long. That's a pretty aimless one. Bashiri took his eye off the ball there. He didn't even really need to try and play it because there was absolutely no one near him in a Midtjylland jersey, and eventually it goes all the way through to Jordan Smith, who rolls it out for Obita on this left hand side. Is Megwa up to the halfway line, comes in field, challenged there strongly and fouled in fact by Brumado. The referee didn't like it. Free kick goes the way of Hibernian on the halfway line on this left hand side. 5 minutes to play. Are we going to get a winner, Alan, or are we going to get spot kicks?
I'm going to stick my prediction at the start all the way, penalties. Listen, you hope Hibs get a winner, you really do. But the way it's going, it looks like it's penalty kicks.
Yep, certainly has that feel about it. As Obita fires the free kick up towards the edge of the penalty, nodded down, but no Hibs player able to get on the end of the knockdown, and Losso clears, and Kliji tries to block the clearance, but he's managed to find a really good pass out from the back there, the goalkeeper, out to Gogorsa, who advances up towards the edge of the penalty area, then plays it infield to Castillo. Castillo looks to play it in between Yuan and Babu, and Babu's got the cross into the box, and Hibs managed to scramble it clear. A little bit worrying for a moment there as Babu managed to keep it in play but couldn't find a teammate. Midtjylland have recycled it. We've got 4 minutes left here of the 120. Here's Mbabu, right hand side. Again, Midtjylland finishing the game strongly, but no way through for Francolino. Claims he was fouled by Obita, but no chance. Here come Hibs. It's Kluge. Yuan's to his left. Can he find the pass? Instead, it's Hoylett on the right hand side. He's got Mulligan outside of him. Hoylett tries to chip it over the keeper, and he gets it all wrong. Well off target in the end from the veteran. He's got to do better in that kind of opportunity. And
Mulligan's out of position
bust
now.
a gut there. He'd made a 60-70 yard run, and he's got to try and get back here as Gogorsa comes forward down that flank, the left hand side. Mulligan now back, but he's absolutely run out of steam as the ball comes into the box for Francolino. Finds Sorensen. He looks to try and get it back to Francolino. Eventually tries the shot himself. Sorensen, it comes off Bashiri. Behind for a corner. Hibs on the defensive. 3 minutes to play of extra time. Hibs 1, Midtjylland 1.
That's been brilliant when you look at Junior Hoylett there 20 seconds ago, having a chance to chip the keeper. Wrong choice, gets it wrong. Midtjylland are right up the park. Going to be a change of goalkeeper here for Midtjylland. He must be the penalty specialist.
He must be. The Icelandic international Olafsson is going to come on.
Size of him, mind.
For the closing 2.5 minutes. Played against Scotland recently, Olafsson. And it's not unique. You have seen it once or twice before. Was it the Dutch that did it?
Yeah. We've seen it in an FA Cup final as well at one point.
That was the Chelsea one.
Yeah.
And he refused to go off. That's right.
Well, to be fair, Lossell, here it comes in. Might not need penalties as the ball is hacked away by Hibernian, but Olafsson, the substitute, on for the last couple of minutes of extra time, and then potentially for penalties if it comes to that. But Mbabu sends it back in. Over. Oh, it's an incredible goal! Oh, that's stunning. Midtjylland have won it. That is an unbelievable overhead kick to win this in the dying seconds of extra time. It is absolutely stunning, and the Hibs players are stunned. They just cannot believe it, because you just do not execute an overhead kick better than that. Mbabu's cross into the box and the overhead kick, it was just sensational. No chance for Jordan Smith, and then just about the final minute of extra time, It is Hibs 1, Midtjylland 2, 3-2 to the Danes on aggregate, and what a finish by the substitute Junior Bromado.
Incredible. He will never score a better goal in his career if he plays to his 50. Comes in and he catches it perfectly. The overhead kick, giving Smith absolutely no. What a goal that is! It's totally deflated the crowd, but I've got to say it's a wonderful finish.
The two moments of real quality have came from Midtjylland tonight. The two goals. Listen, it's heartbreaking for Hib. The performance over the two legs has been outstanding, but they've literally been undone tonight from two moments of real quality. First the strike, and then that overhead kick. What a way to win a game of football.
Scott, you could try that 100 times and not get it right once.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Sometimes you just need to hold your hands up when you're undone by that level of quality.
Well, I might be showing my age here, but that overhead kick from Junior Bromado, the Brazilian, matched only in overhead kicks I've seen by Pele and escape to victory, Alan.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's not finished yet.
Well, Bashiri in at the back post there, but Mbabu got to it first. It was his cross that was converted by Bromado. And Hibs have just got to throw the kitchen sink at this in the last few seconds to try and somehow grab an equaliser.
If you're a man of my age, Rivaldo scored one.
Against Valencia last minute. Yep.
Brilliant. Gareth Bale's in the Champions League final as well. Brilliant. And that was equally as good. What a finish.
Some class finishes certainly, but that was right up there. Hibs have taken a throw in on the left hand side. They need to get the ball into the box. It's Obita for Yuan on the left hand side. Needs to go back to Obita and go into the box. Yuan's not got time for this, and he's given it away to the goal scorer. And forward they come once more. Midtjylland, they could kill Hibs off entirely now. It's Gogorsa. He's got Castillo on his outside. It's Castillo on the left foot into the side netting. Remains Hibernian 1, Midtjylland 2, but Yuan has got to do better there.
Does that not sum up Eli Yuan's career at Hibs? He's been brilliant for the equalising goal, magnificent. And then he's got a simple pass back to Obita. Just roll it back and the ball get in the box. Everybody's in the box. He tries to beat his man instead of doing the simple thing.
That's why he divides opinion. Alan, I see it time and time again. Just do the right decisions for the team. In that instance, it's about Eli Yuan. The ball back was 2 seconds before that, even before he lost the ball.
Yeah.
Play it and he can hit the deep cross. Obviously, you had your defenders up, your Bashiris and that in the box. And again, it comes down to decision making. Go back to that Junior Hoylett chance. How big was that now?
I know. It's been a great game.
There's a stoppage here because Francolino's gone down with cramp.
We've had wonderful goals. We've had 3 goals disallowed for VAR checks, for good play, for bad play, in that case with Yuan. But it's been a really terrific 120 minutes.
Yeah, it's been superb, but Hibs fans will go home sickened by that late strike from Junior Bromado. As classy as it was, doesn't make it any easier for them. But here come Hibs looking for a late equaliser to force penalties. Midtjylland though picked up the loose ball and they're flooding forward once more. We can only have seconds left in the game. We've already played 2.5 minutes beyond the 120 as Bromado shows another little bit of skill there to keep hold of possession. What a finish it was from the substitute.
Incredible.
It's all over. Hibs are out of the Europa League thanks to a moment of sheer Brazilian brilliance from Junior Bromado. An overhead kick fit to win any game, you would have to say. Kevin Mbabu's cross converted from 12 yards out by Bromado as he fired it past Jordan Smith. Hibs thought they had forced penalties when they got the equaliser in injury time at the end of the first half of extra time as Yuan played it square for Bashiri to smash into the net to level up after Osorio had opened the scoring 4 minutes into the first period of extra time with a blistering drive from 25 yards. But for Hibernian it was not to be. It's the Europa Conference League qualifiers, third round against Partizan Belgrade next week instead of the Europa League Midtjylland will take that place against Fredrikstad. It was hard fought, Hibs pushed them all the way, but Midtjylland, with 2 moments of sheer quality, have edged this one. It finishes on the night. Hibernian 1, Midtjylland 2, and Midtjylland progress 3-2 on aggregate.
Following Scotland's